Hi guys, welcome to another day with Zenler. So we run Day with Zenler last Friday of every month, and we have an action-packed day today. So I can see Luan, I'm not sure I've said that correctly, but Luan here, I can see she's on, and a few more people are watching. So yeah, enjoy this session. We've got a lot to cover today, and we have some special announcements as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go as I normally do on the first session, because we run two sessions on Day with Zenler, 9 till 12 and then 3 till 6. And on this first session, I normally go through, the first thing I do is go through the educational areas, just so people can see and find and know where things are. And a lot's been happening on our education side. We've been really busy. Kevin's been running various challenges. Me and Alice have been running a challenge ourselves. And of course, we've been running the Sunday mentorship workshops as well. So next week, what we have planned coming up is a live build. I'm actually going to do probably about 5 to 6 hours, and I'm going to work through as many sites as have been submitted to convert the WordPress site into a Zenler site and show you how easy it is to work with the platform. So today we have Kevin coming on at 9:30. He's doing digital visibility, so it should be an exciting one, being visible. And then I'm going to run into just showing you a little bit for half an hour, a little bit on automations, where you might want to ask some questions and things on that. Next up at 10:30 we have Rakesh on, and Rakesh is going to be announcing some stuff. There's been some posts in the Facebook group about this, and you've been trying busily to guess what's coming up, so you will find out what's coming on. And I know there's going to be a lot of people turn up for Rakesh's session, because it's building a bit of excitement, because we have new feature coming up. Next we have Judy, Rafat, and she was actually supposed to go on last month's Day with Zenler, but she was actually ill, so she couldn't. And she's going to be talking about how to use your voice to sell your products. So that's going to be a pretty good one. She's a voice coach, so she'll be telling you how to sell things and get all those things. Next we have a Q&A session at 11:30. It sort of rounds up the session. I might cover a few more little tips and tricks at the end. It's 9 AM here, so it's early. In Cornwall we got a lovely day. Surf's up, but I'm not out because I'm in here all day for you guys. So I'm going to run through the educational slots first of all, and obviously just put some stuff into the chat. We've got lots of people today. So we've got Gabrielle, Luan, we've got Jenny, we've got Luan again. She's busy typing. Good to be active. Yeah, I mean, this is what it's all about. So if you've got questions when we're going through things, if you put them down there, we'll try and answer them. We do have a busy day, and session 2 in the afternoon, we've got Angela Sundust and we've got Erin Bookeye as well. A lot of you probably know those two. They're quite good at helping people inside the group, so they're actually coming on to do a little presentation, and they're on for quite a while. And of course we've got Alice as well in the afternoon slot as well, so all good. So I'm going to jump straight in to show you where our educational areas is, and there's a little thing that I've added just and I'll talk to you about it now. So the first place that you are in now is our Facebook group, and our Facebook group is an amazing place for the community to get involved with each other, maybe even network if you're in similar niches and you want to sort of sell each other's courses or create backlinks to each other. It's in a way, it's really well used, the Facebook group. I think you can do even better with it. I think you can start to network. You know, post on the Facebook group, for instance, I'm a therapist working in hypnotherapy. Is anyone else in that niche? And if they are, connect with them. See if you can do links back and forth between sites, because we know backlinks, links into and out of sites, obviously get you higher in the rankings, so you can help each other out by moving forwards. You also might want to get to know those people and become friends with them, and actually start to market their courses for them, and they market their courses to their list as well. These are all ideas that you can come up with just using our Facebook group, and we have 7.5 thousand members in our group, so chances are someone will be doing something similar to you. So I'm going to jump into our little Facebook group here, and I'm sharing my screen. Hopefully you can all see that okay. And down here you can see that we're on the group, and I want to point out a few areas. Now, this featured, Facebook generally just do things, you know, it was called announcements, but now it's called featured. They just changed it randomly. So inside featured, you can see all sort of featured stuff that's coming up. So you can see the first one there. This is coming up very soon. This is Kevin Arrows and his blogging bootcamp. Now, I did the first one of these because something I wanted to know a little bit more about, and I can say firsthand it is absolutely amazing. It's really good, it's really well led, and it does push you a little bit, but it doesn't make it too uncomfortable. And I think you'll find that you'll start to get much more creative with your blog posts and also the ideas, because Kevin has arranged this so that he kind of, you at the end of it, it all kind of makes sense and you're like, oh, I didn't know that. It's absolutely amazing. You need to jump into this. So you go into the featured tab, go down to Kevin's blogging post there, and just sign up for there, because it is great. And this ties in beautifully with a launch, a marketing your first course challenge that me and Alice have been running over the last 5 days. So it's the last day today of that challenge. So people that are in that will go across to this for sure. Now we've got Wow Wednesdays, where you get a chance to showcase your sites and show us those. We always put office hours in there. It's the last office hours that are run. These are run every Wednesday at alternate times, and you can find times of those in our tutorial.newzenler.site that we're going to jump to in a minute. So the featured tab is really good. It tells you what's featured. Or what's been announced. Next we have the events tab. Now if you found this day with Zenler, then you'll see that it's in here, and you can see all the events that are coming up as well. We put our office hours in there. You can just click going and you jump straight in there. Kevin's even put his blogging bootcamp in there as well, so you can put that in there. He has Zen Chat, it's in here, so you need to come in here if you want to join the Zen Chat. What is Zen Chat? Networking. What I was talking about with the Facebook group, Kevin has set this up so you can network with each other, and it's really good. It's really good if you want to start networking, talking about marketing ideas, sharing tips and tricks. Then you want to jump into the Zen Chat that Kevin runs. I think it's alternate Mondays. Kevin, you can ask Kevin that later. Of course, past events are all shown in there. Like everything we do, even these sessions that we're doing today, there will be replays. Okay, so we leave the replays up when they finish on Facebook, and we also take those and put them on our YouTube channel, which we'll talk about in a minute. So that's our Facebook group, main points there. We're going to jump now to our tutorial site, so tutorials.newzenler.com. Now if you've never been here before, first thing that you need to do is, I'm going to show this in incognito because it's slightly different for logged in users. It says welcome. So if I just jump into incognito now, and this is what you'll see. So you'll see this come up, and it gives you the latest new releases that have come out. These need to be updated because we've got a few more. Challenges that are going ahead at the moment. Again, Kevin's blogging there. Our marketing challenge, which is running now, but will be finished today. And other events that have gone on in there. Latest live events. So you get there are office hours, tells you all the times. Live events there, live workshops. These are Sunday workshops. I generally run these. We've got live build if there's any live builds going on, and of course our day with Zenler. But this is the course that you want to enroll in. So if you haven't enrolled in the NZ Masterclass bundle, please do. Please do. It's got sections in here, so like zones. It doesn't normally include all the challenges and boot camps, okay? So they can be separate. So if you signed up, if you first time you've come to this site, you've signed up for the blogging challenge, you might not have access to this. You'll see it, but you won't be able to get into any of the courses. And with that in mind, we've added up here a help. So if you cannot see the NZ Masterclass bundle, click here and sign up for it. And once you've into the site, you can then go through these different zones. So I'm only going to talk about one of the zones. Feel free to go in, explore, look around, and you'll see. So yes, so looking at the comments that are coming, looking forward to the blogging challenge, Gabrielle. Yeah guys, you got to sign up for that, it's really good. Thank you, Lauren. We try to be helpful and supportive if we can. So in here, Learn Zenler. Now this is the thing I want you to make sure that you do. It's really quick. Go into the Learn Zenler, click this, you're going to get into here. You're going to see the quick start guide. quick start guide is going to take you 2 to 5 hours, probably 5 hours if you want to really soak it all in. And it will teach you all of the basic setups on your site. So it tells you about the page builder, how to build your pages out, how to build your first course, how to set your site up, what branding is, you know, it has touches on domains. Doesn't get too deep into anything. Really nice, easy, friendly course that if you're not tech savvy, you're going to find a dream. Okay, so, and if you're not, let me know, tell me that you're having troubles with it, because we haven't had any people say that they've had problems with the quick start guide, so it's nice and easy. At the same time, download this basic setup checklist. This is just a PDF that you can print out, and you can basically tick off the things that we recommend for you to do. There's also required as well. So required things, there's recommended, and there's optional, and you can click those off if you've done them. So it gives you a really nice guide on that. The next one we've got, which is absolutely huge, is the complete guide to Zenler, and I'm going to be revamping this starting probably in 2 weeks time. It's going to be completely revamped because we've got so many new features coming there. But most of what we've got in the complete guide to Zenler, it's all, well, pretty much all of it's current. There's just new features going in because we're so proactive on adding features into the platform. It's quite hard to keep up such a big course up to date. So I'll be going in there doing things like the lives that have come in now, like paid lives and all these things that have come in, and other things that might be announced by Rakesh today. So the complete guide is huge, so don't get overwhelmed. A lot of people cherry pick what they need. Like if you need to know how to set up your custom domain or your custom subdomain, you can go in there, you can search, you can find that information, you can just watch those videos, and then you don't have to watch all of them because it is a huge course. But the quick start guide is nice and easy, and like I said, 2 to 5 hours to finish it. So this is where you need to go. If you haven't got access to this, just make sure you go to help and then click and sign up there. Okay, really important. Now also on the tutorial site, we also have lots of other resources on here that is definitely worth mentioning to you. And one is to have your say. We like user feedback. We absolutely love it because it tells us if we're doing a good job. It tells us where we need to improve. It tells you if you're understanding everything that we're doing in our courses, challenges, or what we're putting on our website, the way things are arranged. So we absolutely love it. So we've got surveys for people that have done any of the workshops. You can also join us for a day with Zenler. I can see that Judy is on now. Judy's on soon, and she signed up on this form. I reached out to her, and now she's on a day with Zenler, and that's how it works. So if you want to join us, if you've got something that you want to share with the community, can be anything, you know. We've had all sorts. It's been quite enlightening, and it's quite good. Even like therapists, you know, maybe even a dog trainer or something, showing a top tip for dogs. I'm sure Rakesh with Buddy and Kevin with Bones will love that. So even that, you know, doesn't necessarily have to be Zenler related. It's you as an instructor talking about you, and other people can get stuff from it. So we've got educational support. So how are we doing? We need your feedback. Without feedback, we don't know, and we carry on, and we might have something wrong that a lot of you feel needs sorting out. So these have your say is a new kind of thing, and we want you to give us your responses. Next, we have resources. So Zenler has got a lot of places where you can go for things, you know, so we thought we'd put all under resources. So under here we've got Facebook events. This jumps you straight into our Facebook group events and Facebook announcements, which is actually what's it called now? It's called something else. So it actually jumps you into that area. And then we have a Zenler new feature request. This is where you can actually ask for new features. Remember, Zenler's probably the only platform where we are actually really dictated by you guys, the instructors, to how the platform at this point in time expands. Yeah, we've got a set of things we're working through, but we're very much asking you guys, what do you want to see? You know, things like, I know you've mentioned like bookable calendar systems in lives and things like that, which is happening. And that's driven by what you wanted. Paid lives driven by what you wanted, and lots of other things as well. Rakesh is going to announce some new features that you've asked for as well. We also have PR media. This is mainly for our partners who are selling, are partners of ours and trying to sell the Zenler platform to make their commissions, a 40% commission on first tier. Next we have Zenler status. So we've got a Zenler status page which tells you about any of the issues that are currently happening on the Zenler system, and you can see through here everything's operational, and it does it day by day, so it gives incident reports if they're on there. So this is really handy if there's something wrong with the site, and you just check there first, see if there's an issue. We also have support report bug tech issues, so this is where to go to find issues. Submit your site. This is new. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this in a second. Competitors comparison tells you how we stack up against our competitors. We also have a price plan option. So what is the difference between our free, our pro, and our premium version? So you can check that out in there. It's also down the bottom of the page, by the way, down here. So it's there for easy access. NZ changelog. This tells you about any updates or new features we've added to Zenler. This is really good. Lots of it will be gobbledygook to you unless you're a coder, but there's like tech fixes, bug fixes. These are normally if we're finding bugs ourselves and we're fixing them, or we're adding new features in there, this will go into the changelog. It's a really important part of Zenler. Also your feedback to tech support with something that's happening with the platform, again there it could go onto the changelog as that being fixed as well. So our changelog area is really important. So morning Kevin. Kevin's with us. Brilliant. So yeah, Kevin's on at 9:30, so I've got to make sure I don't overrun here. So I want to go to submit your site. So if we click on submit your site now, we have this submit your site submission form. So what's going to happen is you can actually send, a lot of people have asked, like, is there a place where I can see Zenler sites, you know, sites built by you guys? Where can I go and see what you can do with the platform? So we've taken that on board, and the team have got together and discussed it, and we've come up with this idea of putting an actual site together for it, and you able to submit your site for inclusion into it. It's going to be growing, but I'm going to show it to you now so you can see where it is. So it's showcase.newzenler.com, and this is the start of it. We've got quite a few more to add to this. Need to get busy with that. And you can see inside here some of the sites that this has all been built by Zenler. Only Zenler sites are on here, okay? Only, that's all. And you'll see up here, you can also see, if you're not a Zenler instructor, you can actually sign up for Zenler here. You can also look at some of the features, not all of them. These are just some of the snapshot features and our pricing, current pricing plan. And from here you can also submit your site as well. So showcase.newzenler is definitely a place you might want to go to get your site in there. Why is it good to have your site on our showcase? One big reason. One is people are going to be looking at it. You're going to see on the page itself that you can actually go down and visit those sites. So it's click-throughs, it's backlinks to your site. Now, if you know, backlinks coming into your site from an external site like ours are going to be better for your rankings. So there's a few reasons why you might want to get your site on here. Okay, we're going to be sorting the site into categories. It hasn't happened yet, but we're going to be starting to put these into different category areas on the site as well. And on the home page, we're going to have featured sites. So sites that look really cool, like this one here, is going to be featured on that page, you know. And yeah, there's a few others that are good as well. So that's how it's going to work. So make sure that you do submit your site and get on there with that. So last thing I've got to show you about now, and up before I check. So Gabriel's saying, oh, we so need a dog trainer. Okay, I think you're just being funny with that. Yeah, we all need a dog trainer. Yeah, maybe Kevin's gone through a lot with his dog Bones. Maybe he can come on and give you an update and things. Might be nice to have that. Our mascots, by the way, are Bones and Buddy, Rakesh's dog. So they start to appear in places. Just be aware of that. Next thing we've got now is our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is very special because one, it's the first place that videos go up to before they're posted onto our Facebook page, especially the new features. They all appear in here first, so you get to see them first. And also there's lots of good things that go along, because like Facebook, eventually stuff drops down the thread and you don't see it anymore, but you see it nice and clearly in our YouTube channel, which of course is all searchable. And you can see different playlists that we've got as well for different things, and you need to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when a new video comes up. So you can subscribe. If you subscribe, then you won't get notifications, but you'll be subscribed. But if you hit the bell icon, then it means it will send a message to you saying there's a new video gone up, new features gone in. And that's how it works. And you can look in there, and we've got an ever growing amount of subscribers and lots of activity inside the channel itself, people asking questions and things. So it's not just on Facebook. So we have our new feature releases, and down here we have our Zenlers. So these are longer videos where you guys have asked a question and we have answered it, and there's quite a lot inside here. It's definitely worth checking out. We'd run one recently because people wanted a more in-depth video on live classes in lessons, which is, of course, is a new feature that we released. So we did an in-depth video there showing all the combinations of different ways that that it works, and from a student's experience, and how to set up things like trigger funnels. So this is my terminology, trigger funnels, and this is basically it hasn't got any funnel steps. So it triggers to send email automations out based on someone filling a form out. Definitely check that out. They're not too long, it's been up for 2 weeks. 7 days ago we put that one up. We've got office hours going to here. We have our reviews, so we have some reviews in here. We're going to be asking people to do more reviews so we can put them in there. We've got Kevin's pro interviews. I know he's going to put some more up, and these are really good. These are pro users, and it tells you how they're using the platform and why they chose Zenler in the first place. We've got Zenler Facebook Help, FBHs, and these are quick videos normally. And these are directly again from the Facebook group. If questions come in, or even challenges, if we're running a live workshop or something, someone asks us a question, we might well do a FBH for it. So watch that. We normally name you in there, and we normally tag you in the Facebook group to tell you there's your video, go and have a look. Day with Zenler, as I mentioned, always goes into here. And we have live builds with Zenler. So live builds with Zenler are basically just showing you, it varies, but sometimes it's showing you about technically how to make something work for your site. We always choose someone or a site, and then we actually just show them how to make that thing work. A lot of it is showing people how to redesign their site to give a little bit of a wow factor, like our showcase page, that kind of thing. We are going to be doing one, like I said, next week, where I'm going to be running a really extended one. It's live. I'm not going to be having anyone in there. I'm going to be taking the sites and just doing those things, and then sending the code to those people where I've completed the sites. And that's going to happen. And that's, in that case, for the live build, what we're doing is we're taking WordPress sites and we're converting it into Zenler. So it's going to be really exciting. I've got 5 or 6 hours. I'm going to try and do as many sites as I can. So I'm going to be working at top speed going through this. And I think you're going to be kind of shocked how quick you can do this stuff. Live Sunday workshops. I run these every Sunday. They're starting to fill up. I need to add a few more in there. And we have Zenler live workshops here, like marketing. So these might be promotional and all other workshops that we've run as well. So that is our training resources on Zenler. So as you can see, we are really, really on the workshops and on trying to get information over to you, and trying to be really reactive to what you need. And that's something we don't want anyone to get stuck. We really try to help. Sometimes it's hard to help people when they're talking about other things off of platform, but we try. So, and these things are only getting better. I know there has been a lot of trouble with things like setting up domain and maybe email authentication and things like that. So we're always trying to bring out more videos to help with that kind of area. But the community is really good. Now, one thing I want to point out, if you have a bug with the system, if you think you've done everything right with the system and something's going wrong, don't post it onto the Facebook group. The reason being is because if you want it sorted out by our development team, they're not going to look at the Facebook posts. You know, Kevin mentions this on over office hours every week. So what you need to do is you need to send an email to support@zenler.com. This way it will set up a ticket and they will respond to you and resolve your issue. Okay. And the good thing about this is because it does a ticket, they see exactly how many people are having that problem, and they can see if it's a major problem or not, or if it's specific to you, which most of the time it is specific to you or something. You know, might just be a bit of code that you've put in there that messes the site up. But this is really important to make sure as well. So let me just have a look at the chat now, because Kevin's going to be coming on at 9:30, so I think we've got 5 minutes. So Judy saying showcase the site. That will definitely be something to look at. Yeah, we've only just launched that showcase site, so I think it's something that, you know, if you've got your site, and it's got to be a Zenler site, by the way, if you've got that created, you want to get it in there. Yeah, so Charlotte, the session I mentioned is being recorded. It's going to stay on here and it goes into our YouTube channel as well. So Sunita's coming on the afternoon one. So she's instructing at the moment. So Sunita and Anita are the cats and they work together, the sisters. So Luan's said, okay, how long are sessions? I'm not sure. Well, the sessions for the day with Zenler, we run for 2 sessions of 3 hours. So we run this 9 to 12, and then we run in the afternoon 3 to 6 in the evening. So Jenny from Sweden, hi from Sweden, hi to Sweden, hi from Sweden. Australians, we've got some, oh yes, because Australian time zones. I'm running the Sunday lives now for the Southern Hemisphere, so I'm running it at 10 a.m. in the morning here, because I was running the live sessions at 4 in the afternoon. But I'm running it, the whole series again for the Australian, the Southern Hemisphere, because I don't want them to miss out. We are a global audience, and sometimes it's quite hard. We do run our lives, and we do run our lives, but it has to work with our life. You know, so it's quite hard being in the UK. We've got to try to hit all those time zones. That's why office hours is run at 10 a.m. and then it's run later as well for the alternate slot, which is a good idea because it hits both areas. Then we don't want anyone to miss out on the live training. Remember that pretty much everything we do is recorded, and there's always replays of stuff. So I get quite a lot of questions is where's the replay for that, where's the replay for this, and lots of it you can find in the YouTube channel. You can search in there, or you can just make sure that you're part of that course or that challenge, and then with any challenges that we run, we always record them and we always put them up. So at the moment we're running the marketing challenge with Alice, and it's all recorded. We've got recorded sessions, and today's session, which is the last day, we'll record that and we will put that in there after the session. So it's kind of evergreen. People can work their way through it. Me and Alice were talking about it, and it is a very popular thing, the marketing things, but we might run it every 3 months, so like for the seasons, so that it kind of works for that. And we do have a big master course on marketing as well. It's called the Zenler's Basic Marketing, but it's really kind of more intermediate, in some cases advanced. So yeah, we're running that today, so a very busy day today. So with that in mind, I think Kevin's going to be joining us in about 1 minute's time for digital visibility. Right, so, like, sorry, I'm just going to answer a question just before. Kevin's just popped up. Right, so, hi Dave. I would like to understand if I'm correct in saying that members of New Zenler are all self-employed. Well, not necessarily, you know. They could work and they could set up their sites in their own time, you know. Doesn't have to be self-employed. They might be a limited company. They could be anything. So I think that answers your question. There's a lot of people that are actually employed, and then they're like, well, I want to do my own thing. I don't like working for someone else. I want to just do my own thing. And then they just come and they just set the Zenler site up, and then they just start their own business and leave that job behind and have the flexibility to teach online and have a more enjoyable life. Hi, Kevin.
Morning, David.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much. Good to be here. I'm just changing my name so everybody knows who I am.
I think everybody knows who you are, Kevin.
How's it going so far? Started off well, I see.
Yeah, we just covered all. In the morning session, I like to just cover all of the educational areas, because lots of stuff is got, especially at the moment, because how many challenges have we got running at the moment? It's just crazy.
Perfect.
So I'm going to hand over to Kevin. He's going to look after you for the next half an hour, and then I'll pop up just before the half an hour, and Kevin can then send me back.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, David. Okay, so welcome to A Day with Zenler. For those of you that may be unfamiliar with who I am, I'm lead product educator along with David for New Zenler. Now, something that probably isn't talked about very much is how I got to the position of doing lead product educator, because we don't just wake up one morning and New Zenler go, yeah, you seem like a decent fellow, come along. So a very, very brief history of how I've got to be where I am. And I run lots of challenges for New Zenler. We do lots of the educational side of the online world in New Zenler. I'm a course creator in my own right. I've been doing that for over 12 years. I run a digital marketing agency as well. So I've been helping businesses market successfully, including my own, for well over 12 years. And we do it successfully. So there isn't very much that we haven't encountered on the online world. And for me, this is really important to be able to convey a lot of that information over to people in New Zenler and to help people that may just be starting out on the whole online side of their business. And when I talk to people in Zen Chat, or I talk to people on pro user interviews or anything like that, or even on office hours, a common theme in the last 12 months has been that people have had traditional offline businesses. They've come to New Zenler through a need, as in the pandemic almost shut their businesses down, and they've now decided an online side of their business is a critical element that they'd like to explore, discover and develop. And that's why people often come to New Zenler. Some people have naturally flowed through. We have a lot of people that work in the digital world, always have, probably always will. We also have a lot of coaches and people that do that type of thing who are familiar with being online. But what struck me, and has throughout my whole career of being a digital marketer, is a very, very common theme. And that's the subject around the visibility side of what we do, because being visible is part of it. Now, of course, there are two sides to this. There's the offline visibility and there's the online visibility, and they work very differently. And let me give you some examples of how this is. When we're in the real world and we're looking for visibility in the real world, we can do this in a number of different ways. So, for example, I often get called in to speak and train at Google Campus in London. We do this around blogging, funnel building, etc. And we do that on a regular basis pre-pandemic. I walk into a room, I stand on a stage, I've got an audience of people, I know they all want to be there, they've signed up for it, they've paid for it, they're sat in a room, there may be 300-400 people sat there listening to what I've got to say. I'm training them on a certain thing. I can gauge their reactions. I know if what I'm saying is keeping them motivated and on point and they're listening or not. In the online world, it works very differently, because what we try to do is we try to take our experience from the offline to the online, and it doesn't work. Because it's an entirely different environment. So what we do is we go, right, in the offline world, I've got a group of these people, I can see what they look like. How do I get the same knowledge by being online? So what we do is we get caught up in the whole, if I put a post out of 5,000 people like it, I must be doing something right. If I put a post out and nobody likes it, everybody hates me and nobody takes any notice of what I do. And that statement couldn't be further from the truth. So I want to really delve into the way that we view what we do regarding visibility for our businesses online, understand a little bit more about how we view the responses or lack of responses that we get, and how we can overcome all of those fears around that particular subject. And this is built through not only my own experience in I've had multiple businesses over the years. I'm just about to launch a brand new business, a very offline business with 2 partners. So it's not only about my experience, but it's about the experience of all of the people that I've coached over the years, helped and run their accounts for. And one of the biggest ones that comes up initially when people start delving into the online world is people have a nervousness or fear about what they put out online. They seem to, I don't know why it is, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but there is a fear that holds them back from putting out good content because of what might happen when they do that, or not happen when they do that. Now, I completely understand why people feel that way. I do understand why people get into the mindset of, if I put this post out, I might get criticized. If I put this post out, people may ignore me. So-and-so puts this out, they get lots of interaction and lots of questions and lots of stuff happening. I want what they've got, so I'll copy what they do. And all of those things lead us to a point of procrastinating and delaying where we are. Now, if you've been on any of my trainings, you will fully understand that I have an ethos that runs through my entire world, which is done is good enough. We need to be active and moving what we do forward, which means taking an action to get to the next stage. And when we're right at the very beginning, we're not looking for perfection. What we're looking for is to do the best that we can with the tools that we have, with the knowledge that we've got. And for every single person, that will be different. And I think the very first stage when you're thinking about visibility is to just be kind to yourself, as point one, as in, do not strive to replicate someone that may be a professional in this business for 15 years. They maybe even have a team, a professional team behind them that are creating super duper graphics and all of this cutting edge stuff, spending thousands on software to create and replicate what they're doing. And don't feel there's a pressure on you as someone starting out, maybe it's just you in your business that's trying to get seen a little bit more, that you have to compete with that, because you won't and you can't. What you can do is you can aspire to it. You can go, actually, I would like to at some point be that visible. I would like to have that level of interaction going through what I do. But at the moment, I'm starting where I am, and that's absolutely fine. So stage one of visibility is, firstly, just be kind to yourself. Remember that any action is better than no action. So if we're procrastinating, we're waiting to try, we've got that one post or that one blog post or that one piece of content that we've sat on and we've looked at it, we've re-edited it, we've re-edited it again, we've thought about every possible variation, we've thought about every possible thing that can happen when we put that out, and we still haven't put it out. That's going to cause you a big issue going forward. Our goal in New Zenler, of course, is to create courses, digital assets that we want to sell to build a business. So that's one stage one. Once we've built that, well, we've got to tell people it exists. If we don't tell people it exists, nobody's going to know, nobody's going to come along, and nobody's going to buy. The second stage to fear and anxiety around visibility is response. So what most people will do when they start to go to gain visibility is they'll look at what they've got already. So you may have a Facebook profile, you may be on LinkedIn and connected to some people that you know. Social media is very good at pulling information from different areas to build you up a suggested audience based on friends of friends and all of this type of business. And what it does is it builds up a bank of numbers. And really that's not always very helpful. When we're looking at starting to get the traction that we want, what we want is smaller numbers, but appropriate numbers. And by that, what we do is we start to look at how do we build the correct audience for our business in the right area. And once we start to understand how that operates and how we can do that first, when we put our content out, we've put the right set of ears, the right set of eyes, looking, hearing and receiving what we're putting out. So the formula behind it is really quite straightforward in principle. In practice, it's not quite so easy, as everybody will attest to. And we've all at some point got it wrong. People, you put something out on social media, you've just launched a new website, you've done no audience building, you don't really know who's on Facebook, you've thrown it out on your Facebook page, or you've put it out on your Facebook profile. Your mum's seen it, your friend's seen it, your schoolmates seen it, you know, your cousin's seen it, whoever, all of the people that probably want to support you and go, oh, you're so lovely because we're related, we're friends and all of that. But they're not actually the people that you're targeting your content towards. It may also be that you have a whole heap of people you're connected to that actually don't really care that much about what it is that you're putting out from a business perspective. So again, we're getting that whole position of, oh, I've had a bit of feedback that wasn't quite what I was expecting. I'll stop doing that because they hate it. They don't like what I'm doing. I'm no good at this. I'm going to stop, and all of those things. And again, it creates an inner block for us that stops us from progression. So what do? We look at a number of different things, and there are things that we can do for list building dependent on how you want to do it. It's not a straightforward, write a Facebook update post, that's going to go to a nice audience, we're going to make millions from it. It doesn't quite work that way. There's a lot of different ways that we can look to start building a controlled audience. We call it controlled because we target specific people to get them in based on them opting in because they're interested in what we do. Once we've got our audience, we can then start to convey our information, put out our posts, put out our blog posts, whatever it is we're going to do. And the feedback that we get will be much better. Now, I will give you an example of two examples from what I do myself, just to give you an indicator as to why we need to not be too caught up on numbers. And this is important. We often, as I said right at the beginning, you know, you walk into a room full 400 people at Google Campus, we know they're engaged, blah, blah, blah. Try and put that into something we do online. We might want 50 comments on a blog post. We might want 100 likes. Why has nobody liked my update that I've done, etc., etc. We do work for a Savile Taylor in London. He's very expensive. He's very skilled. He has a very high-end audience. We put stuff out for him on a regular basis. Most of it gets 1 like, maybe 2 likes, often from him, often from his wife, and all of that. And that's all great. We do have a behind the scenes audience building situation, specifically on LinkedIn, because it's B2B. That's where his people often are. And we go out and we do an outreach campaign to build that audience. And just this week, he received a message from a guy. I connected with you on LinkedIn in October, been watching what's been going on through your feed. Haven't felt I wanted to contribute to your feed, but what I've seen has been enough for me to now send you this message to say, I'd like to book an appointment with you when you're in Dubai this week. And I want to book 5 suits with you. So my point is, when we're doing this for business, it's not always about the numbers of what we receive on the stuff that we put out. Sometimes just that regularity of putting out our messages to the right people when it's the right time for them, they'll get in touch with us. And when we can get that principle in our mind, then it's completely alien to what every other market will tell you. they'll all tell you, get big numbers, you know, get lots of likes, get lots of shares, get people to leave lots of comments. It will beat the algorithms, blah, 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 blah. None of that really matters, to be perfectly truthful. What matters is when you put stuff out for your business, are they doing what you want them to do? As in, are they calling you? Are they emailing you? Are they clicking on a link for a course? Are they opting in to a funnel? Are they buying a course or any of those things? So we can do building the right audience. So we can do it in a number of different ways. Of course, we've got list building techniques that we can use. So getting them onto an email list, we can quite comfortably do this in New Zenler. We can create a funnel. We can create an opt-in. We can create a form. We've got multiple tutorials that David's kindly done for us within the tutorial site and on our YouTube channel that will show you how to build that type of thing. It doesn't have to be complex. What will happen is people will choose to come on your list if they're interested in what you say. So you know at that point when they've come on your list, you've got an audience of people that are interested in whatever that opt-in is targeted towards. We do the same in the blogosphere. So when we go out blogging, writing blog posts, creating blog content, we'll often have a sign up, which will be an appropriate sign up per category of what our topic is about. So again, we build another list that is for people that want more of that type of content, because maybe at some point they'll have a need for the service that you're going to be offering. Of course, we've got SEO. SEO we can build audiences with. It's something that we're going to delve into a little bit deeper with the new Zenler community, because SEO is probably the most direct need equals results driven system. So people go into a search engine, whether it's Bing, Yahoo, Google, it doesn't really matter. They go there because they're looking for an answer to something. It's the only reason they go there. They want to find information, and we optimize our sites and our content that we create to try and get the search engines to match up a query with our answer. So we provide the solution, we provide the answer, we provide the information they're looking for when they type a certain thing into a search engine. And our job is to try and make that process for the search engines really easy and appropriate. If somebody searches for this, i.e., and you'll hear about this in the marketing course that David and Alice are running at the moment, if they search for this key phrase, long tail key phrase, whatever it is, then we've got the answer here, match it up. If that makes sense, you'll get someone stay on your content and hopefully opt in, become part of your list. Take an action, buy a course, whatever it may be. So list building, probably one of the most, so SEO, very, very useful because it is direct searchers with a need looking for a direct solution, whatever that may look like. That doesn't mean they'll buy straight away. Don't mistake the two, but that's where it is. Of course, we've got social media. Social media, we all know social media selling and audience building can be done quite easily. We take them from social media, maybe into a list, maybe into a group, maybe over to a blog post, maybe onto a phone call, a message, wherever we want to take them, to create that atmosphere for them to be able to become part of our audience. We encourage people to like our Facebook pages, to connect with us on LinkedIn, like our LinkedIn business profiles, follow us on Instagram, whatever it may be. Whatever your thing is for your right audience, that's what we try to do. And we can build that. It's not quite a list over on social media, but it is a following. And that's what we aim for, but an appropriate following. Unlike on our personal profiles, where we've probably got lots of friends and family, not really interested too much in helping us out, never going to be a client because they're friends and family normally. On our business profiles, business pages, business groups, business accounts, Instagram business account, not personal account, we can do all of those things. Then, of course, we've got a couple of other ones just to think about. And I'm mentioning these because when we talk about it being visible, it doesn't always mean visible as in on camera. We don't always have to do that. Obviously, we've got things like vlogging. We've got things like YouTube, which is a very video-orientated platform. David will tell you much more about YouTube because he nails it with one of his other businesses. But you don't always have to be on camera to get visible. You don't always have to do lives if you're not comfortable right now to do that to get visibility. We can use solely the tools that we have available in New Zenler. So blogging for me has always been one of the most universal and easiest to use tools for visibility. How do I know this? Back in between 2005 and 9, myself and my partner ran the largest multi-author blog in Europe. It got recognised by Forbes 3 times, 3 years running, as being the best business blog outside of the US. We would get over 2.5 million visitors to that blog each year. So I've got a little bit of an understanding of how blogging can work for visibility. Now, that was a very specific niche that we worked in. We had over 20 writers working on that site, 2 blog posts going out every single day. I would nowhere near expect a normal business to do that, because you won't have capacity to do that. However, we did have an audience that was very appropriate to that site. We can optimize our blog posts for search. So David's talked about that. We do talk about that a bit in the blogging bootcamp that I'll be running in February. But it is content that's very specific. That's where we, again, start to create a call to action to get them to do something, normally to get them to subscribe to a list on that particular category of blog post. So blogging is brilliant. We can also use social media to promote our blogs. It gets indexed in search engines as well. So we get sort of 2 bites at the cherry on that one. And that works quite well. If we put posts just out on social media, it's just out on social media normally. Doesn't really get found in the search engines, though. Our Facebook page may get found in there, but the specific content won't. So you've got to understand the difference. But blogging is written, so we don't have to have a video in there. If you like writing, if you want to explore writing, that's a great way to do it. And the same goes for podcasting. We can get visibility via audio. Audio search into the search engines is something that's going to become more and more popular. A bit like the image search never used to be a thing. It's now much more of a thing. Audio search and the SEO side behind audio is something that the search engines are really developing the technology for. So when you put an audio file out, that will start to become indexed as well. So our whole language will start to transform into the language, pretty much like we do a blog post, very conversational, very at ease, very natural. We'll do the same in our podcasting, but of course that's voice only. So we can use our new Zenler site to embed our podcasts. We can have audio files in there, all sorts of things, using something like Anchor FM. It's free. It's a phenomenal tool to use. If you've never done podcasting before, it's so easy peasy. Anybody can do it. And there's an SEO element to that as well. So it clearly gets indexed. So list building, SEO, social media, blog posts, podcasts is scratching the surface of what we can do with our visibility. But the key to it is to do something. The key to it is to make sure that our expectations match the reality by getting our foundations right. And when we do that, we will enjoy the process because we take a pressure off ourselves. If we put a pressure on saying, if I put this blog post out, I need it to be on the first page of Google within a week, or Yahoo or Bing, and it doesn't achieve it, we feel disappointed. If we put an update out on social media and we go, oh, nobody's commented on this or nobody's liked it, and really I should have lots of likes on it because that's what all these gurus are telling me, you feel disappointed. You feel like you've done something wrong. The point is, everybody's at different stages with what they do online. Not everybody's going to get, not every business is going to get that type of traction. Some businesses, people just don't want to publicly interact with you that way. They'd rather do it by email, private message, phone call, in a different way. And I've worked with therapists before that work in very difficult situations. I've worked with people that work with women's refugees over here in Essex, where women that are in a domestic situation that's not very pleasant are never going to come on social media and start to talk about this in a public forum. It's never going to happen, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be promoting the service and the support that they offer. So you have to understand your audience. You have to make sure when you put your content out, it's to the right audience, and understand that you don't have to get everything done at once. One step at a time. takes the pressure off of you. You can then start to enjoy it. When you start to enjoy it, you relax. When you relax, your content actually becomes more natural. When it becomes more natural, you get better results at the end of it, whatever that looks like for your business. And really, that is the lasting thought I want to leave you with on this, because so many people compare themselves. I've seen my buddy does this, and they've got this and it's been going on, and they're nailing it on social media. They put 15 Instagram stories up a day, and they're getting all of these thousands of comments that they've got to moderate. And when you say to them, okay, well, go up to them and say, how many people are buying that product? How many people are engaging with your service outside of, yeah, you're nice on Instagram? You'd be surprised at what the answer is. And I've seen it from big names in the social media world, in the marketing world, that have hundreds and hundreds of comments. It's impossible to moderate. Half of it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And the result that they get from what happens on those comments isn't always the result that you want as a business. So our job is to make sure, one, we take the pressure off. Two, we put out good content. So good is good enough. Doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfectionism. We don't aim for that in marketing. It doesn't really exist in marketing, whether it's a Zenler site or whether it's an update. We try and do good, but you'll get better as you go along. You'll get faster as you go along. A bit like doing your first course. Your first one, you're really nervous about what will people think of me. What they'll think is you're a human being. You're a human being trying to convey a message. If the message is genuine, the information you put out there is good to the right people, they won't care whether you've got a typo in one of the words, if something's not quite aligned properly, if it's not the best image of something. They're not really going to be that bothered. What they care about is the actual content and the intent behind it. People are smart enough now to know human beings do this stuff. We're not robots. We're not computers that are meant to get it right all of the time. So be kind to yourself. And more importantly, enjoy the process of doing it, because when you enjoy it, you will find it so much easier to progress. Now, that doesn't mean don't push yourself, because I always feel we should be slightly out of our comfort zone. Otherwise, we never grow. So push yourself a little bit, but don't think you've got to start on day one of visibility, being like that person that's done it for 10 years, because you're just going to end up feeling really bad about the whole process. Recognize you are at your starting point, your beginning, and your people will thank you for it. You'll enjoy it. And then in a year's time, you'll look back and go, oh, what I put out there was okay then, but I've now got to this stage. My blog posts, I can write much faster. I now understand a little bit more how to construct them. I've got my content design a little bit better than I did a year ago. And in a year in the future, it'll be that little bit better again. And that's okay, because we're in an evolving world online. What was good and trending last year isn't good and trending this year. It's always shifting about. So when we try and get that perfect formula, all we're doing is frustrating ourselves, because I defy any company to turn around and say, yeah, I've nailed it, because there is always stuff coming through. Always. All you've got to do is look at Facebook. Facebook are a nightmare for it. As soon as you think you've understood Facebook, they come along and go, well, we're going to move this and we're going to change that, and that doesn't work anymore, and this happens, and blah, blah, blah. And you go, oh my God, what's the point in that? And that really is the way the online world works. What was good for SEO 2 years ago doesn't work now. It's different. Doesn't mean that you've got to bin everything from 2 years ago. It just means you've got to move on, and you've got to move on the right way. Our American friends are very lucky, because you are the guinea pigs for Facebook. You are the guinea pigs for the search engines. You get it all before us in the UK. But that means we can learn from all your mistakes, which is brilliant. So, I'm quite happy with that situation. But it does mean that if a new update on Facebook comes out, you will often see it's regionally released. So our American friends will get it first. It happened when Periscope, do you remember Periscope? The live streaming platform came out. It came out to the Americans first. Everyone, when it came to the UK, everyone's like, how did they get 1 million followers? It's only been launched today. Well, no, it's been launched 6 months in the US. It's just been launched today for us. Oh, when's the Android version coming out? Well, the Americans had that 6 months ago. We've got to wait for it. but it does give us the opportunity to look and understand and learn. So from a marketing perspective of what David and I and the team here are showing you, it's from a point of knowledge and experience rather than we're sort of feeling our way through it, because we're not, because you lot have already done that for us. We've seen it, we've understood it, and we're now showing you how to do this and make it work properly. So, but be kind to yourselves, enjoy the process. I don't know if anybody's had any comments or questions. I haven't been watching the chat. I've just been gabbing on for a little bit. I hope you found it useful, and I hope it gives you the confidence to just start out looking, even if you're not ready to put content out yet, start looking at your audiences of where you want to start being visible, and start there. You can start building those up before you do anything else. And once you've done that, when you put stuff out, I'll guarantee you 100% what you get back will make you feel really good. So I'll leave you with that. You know where we are. If you need to chat about any of this stuff, we've got Marketing Your First Course Challenge. David and Alice are running at the moment. It covers elements of that. We've got the blogging bootcamp starting 7th of February. We do elements of that in there, especially around the blogging side of things. There's an SEO challenge going to come up at some point in the next couple of months, which will delve into all that stuff a little bit more. So feel free to come along to any of those resources. Of course, they are free because we're doing it under in the new Zen capacity of New Zenler. So we don't charge you for those. It's completely free for you to use, interact and engage with, and revisit if you can't make it live. Obviously, live is best because you get to ask us directly. Oh, I've got this going on, or I'm worried about if I do this, what will happen in your experience? If you do it on the recordings, you can't ask those questions so easily. So live is always best, which is why the team here try and do as many lives as we possibly can, because your questions are more specific to you, whereas we can't cover every industry in the entirety of New Zenler. It would be impossible. We'd just be talking about the same answer forever, talking about different ones. It'd just go on for unlimited amount of time. Right, I've got a minute over, so I'm going to shut up now. David, I hope that was useful for people today.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely brilliant, and how motivational as well, because, you know, also remember, like Kevin mentioned, is a lot of course creators give up. They might be doing everything right, they're just not consistent with it. They just don't follow through. You know, it's like if you build a car, you're not going to drive a car till you build a car. So it's like, you know, you need to do that thing. And I know a question came in, like, are people on Zenler just self-employed? You know, Kevin, no, they're not, are they? No. You run a business and you run this as well. Same with me. When I started off doing this stuff, I was doing it in my spare time just because I wanted to help people. I got a good reaction and realized, because people were telling me that I'm a good teacher, that I was like, do you know what, I really enjoy this, and that's why I went into it. That's the only reason I went into it.
Yeah, I mean, I know multiple companies that have been through our challenges that have partners. In my agency, I employ 7 people. In the new business I'm setting up, there are 3 partners in that. As a limited company in the UK, that will grow within the next 12 months. So no, people are not just individuals and self-employed. I think you see that sometimes because you see the representative that's responsible for using New Zenler. So, you know, even if you look at Amit, you know, he's got a team behind him. Multiple others you'll see helping in the community have a team behind them. So you'll often see there are partnerships in here as well. But remember, the people you see in the community are the people that have been allocated by the company to go and sort that Zenler thing out. Doesn't mean they're self-employed, just means they're the one responsible for dealing with it for that business. So yeah, they're not all self-employed by any means. Don't think that for 1 minute. Of course, there are a big proportion of people that are just them, which is fine. We have a lot of coaches, people like that. A number of the dog trainers are just them. That's fine. But it, you know, it's so versatile when you're talking about creating digital courses. It can be anybody. You'll often hear about people wanting to know how it works to have an admin come in and run their Zenler site. That's often a question that comes up. We often hear about people that are having different instructors in their Zenler sites. So clearly it's not just them. They want to work out how that works. How do they see the comments? How do they get involved in all of that? So everybody will structure what they do differently. And the great thing about New Zenler is that if you are going to grow your team and you want them involved in the platform, it has the capability to add people in different levels within the platform, where you don't just have to add them in with your admin login like some do, in which case they can destroy your whole thing. You can put them in as editors and different things, which means they have restrictions on what they can and can't do, but still operate on your behalf. So yeah, it is interesting, but yeah, that answers that, doesn't it, really? Well, if you've got questions, I'll be around for the next half an hour or so on the chat. Hopefully you've found that useful. David, thanks for having me on. I appreciate I've run over slightly, so I'll shut up now. I'll let you get on. Enjoy your day, and I'll be popping in and out on the chat throughout the course of the day.
Always a pleasure, Kevin. So yeah, amazing, great stuff. David. See you later, Kevin. Bye. Right, so let's proceed forward. But before we're 5:10, so we're gonna run a little bit about automation. So I'm kind of running these little in between slots because we got such a busy day. So I'm trying to do short little bits in between, little bits of information for you to sort of take on. And I've put this down. I scheduled this down for automations, because automations is a big part of Zenler, especially because you can send out automations. So what are automations? Automations are simply a way of automating emails to go out based on a particular action. So it might be that someone's bought a course. It might be that someone's registered for your live event. It might be that someone's come into one of your marketing funnels, which is a series of steps to get people to sign up so that you can then sell them something later. So a marketing tool, as you know, like Zenler is marketing centric, meaning the platform has been built around marketing, probably the only platform to do that, to initially set out and build from the ground up a marketing centric platform with, of course, all of the features of a course creation and obviously live as well. And we're the only platform that allows you currently to actually not have a Zoom account subscription, so you can run everything inside of Zenler, including paid lives. Now we've got the ability, again, the only platform to do paid lives, the only platform to actually allow you to put live straight into your lessons, into your courses itself. So a lot of really, really futuristic stuff already done on Zenler, which is why we know it's the best platform on the planet. So with that in mind, I'm going to jump in, just do a little bit of showing you around kind of automation. So I've got this site here. This is a site that we've built from the ground up inside the live workshop mentoring sessions that we do on Sundays. So you can find that on, by the way, if you go to our tutorials.newzenler.com site and you click down the bottom, you'll see the live sessions, so you can click into them. This Sunday, really exciting at this time, and a lot of you might be interested, that's why I'm saying it, but on this Sunday, and probably for the next 2 workshops, this Sunday and the following Sunday, we're actually running how to set up memberships. So how you might think. There's lots of options inside Zenler. It doesn't pin you down to one structure. There's lots of ways that you can work with it. So we're doing all that. We're starting that particular part of the live sessions on Sunday. All right, so I'm going to jump into automations here. Inside this course we put together, we have 3 courses set up. Toilet training, this is for dogs. Rakesh was saying I should put Buddy on here. I'm going to put Buddy and Bones on here at some point. And I've got toilet training, tricks training, anxiety training. Now, bear in mind, I am not a dog trainer, all right? I've just done this site, so don't crucify me. It's all pretty much here, but I wanted to do a dog site because we do have a lot of dog trainers on here, and and I love dogs as well, so maybe we'll do a cat one at some stage. So let's go in and have a look at some of the automations and where you can find them and things you need to make sure that you do. So automations are found in courses, marketing funnels, and in your lives. Okay, so inside those sections you have a way of automating emails to go out based on a particular action. So if I go into the tricks and skills, this is a dummy course, by the way, and we can see this course here. If I just preview this quickly, this is my sales page for this particular page. So you go there, it shows the curriculum, join the course, go through to the checkout page, pay for it, and then of course, you know, you're into the actual course access page itself, which is there. And you can see there, and you can start and run your lessons. But someone enrolls in this course, we might want a series of emails to go out to those people. So we can do that via automations, which I haven't set up for this yet. So if I go into the automations tab, you're going to see that you have these automation rules. Now this sometimes confuses people because they're like, well, why have I got these two things here, on enroll, on course complete? These are actions. So on an enrollment, these sequences could fly out, which I'm going to show you in a second. And on a course completion, you can also do it on lesson completion. You can also send out emails. So I'm going to go on to the enroll one. You're going to see it's going to open up. You can open all of these up, by the way. And if you click any of these, let's click this one down here, you'll see that we still have access to all those ones. Do you see? I've still got access to these ones here, and I've still got access to the course completion. We can add a new rule. So here we go. So you got on lesson complete as well. So if I added a new rule, it would come in as one of these blocks, and then I could add automations inside it. So the rules are like big blocks, and the actions are in here, and these are all the things that you can do inside here. So for instance, you can see for this on enroll, I have send a mail 0 hours from enrollment. So that basically means straight away. And you can also see 1 day from enrollment, it can send another email. So it could send an email 1 day after they have enrolled. Remember, enrolled is when they buy the course. All right. So next one down here, you can see it sends an email 0 hours from course completion. So when they complete the course, then the automated email will fly out to them. Something to bear in mind is we have paused. It means that it's not active. So at the moment, if someone buys this course, because they are all paused, it will not send anything out. You can also delete out automations if you're not using them. Which I do quite a lot. In fact, I build all mine from the ground up. I delete all the ones that come with Zenler, and I just build my own because I just prefer working that way. But you can also clone them. So if you want to clone an automation and just leave that email the same, it will clone all that detail that you put in there, and then you can clone it and it will keep that detail. So you can modify it. So let's go and make this one active. So I've got in here the action name, that's here, so you can call it whatever you like. The delay 0 hours from enrollment. I've got make action live, so if I click this, it will be live, meaning when they actually buy the course, it'll activate. Down here we have the personalization. So for this one, it is tricks and skills training, so I might change this title. Like that. So that would be the email that goes out. Okay, now down here we give you a set of already pre-loaded stuff in here, but I tend to wipe a lot of this out. But read it. If you've never done this before, make sure you read it. And we can go in here, and you're going to see inside here we have personalizations. So personalizations will give you pulled in information from the site or from the registration. So like if they've registered under the first name David and last name Newton, if I put first name in, just for them it will personalize there. So it says Dear David, because I've put that personalization in, and it's really easy to do this. Let me just go and delete all this out, and let me take it all out and start from scratch. So Dear, and then I'm going to add a personalization, so I'm going to add the name. So let's just put their full name in there, put a little comma down here, log in to and then I can put tricks. And something like that. Now I could grab a personalization of the actual name as well, course name. So I could, if I wanted to make my life easier, I could delete that out and I could personalize and drop that in there, course name, bang. So that would be the name of the course, which is this. So that saves me writing it out. It's just automated, just brings it in from the code like dynamic. Log in here. And then I can just have another bit of personalization. So I can have the course access, not the sales, course access URL, and any other automations I want to put in there. So I've got the course player URL as well. Probably use the course access, I find is better. Don't need anything else. One thing you need to make sure with automations is that you have a mailing address and you have an unsubscribe thing in there. If you don't, will not save this particular thing. Okay, so you need, this is a prerequisite, you need to have the mailing address and unsubscribe link in all mails going out through automations. So you have to have that in there for this to work. All right, so, and I'll put see you in the course and then finish it off with whatever you want. Okay, so I can also make this look a little bit better. So if I want to drop my logo in here, I can just do a carriage return, put the cursor there and come into images, and I can actually choose my uploaded image, which I've got there. And now I've got a lovely email that has got my little logo in place there. And you can style it up, so you could put little images in there. You could also make some things bigger if you wanted to, and you can use this WYSIWYG editor there to change things. Make this bold if you wanted to, italic, put a strike through. You've got lists, your table. I don't tend to use the table, and you can add manual links as well. So this could be quite handy, like for the manual links, if on course completion you want them to go to another course. So you could say, have you seen this course, and drop a link to that course in here when they finish the course. So that could be a way of kind of upselling in a very light approached way, like, oh, I've just finished that course, that one would be interesting. So you could put details on course completion. Also notice that we do have in here on lesson a rule for lesson completion as well. So you might want to send an email out after each lesson or after certain lessons. So you could do that as well. You could say, well done, you finished that lesson. What did you learn from that? Did you make a note of what you learnt from that and send it to me in the next assignment? And then you can set an assignment up. So you can see how people, when they're working through a course with automations, if it's done correctly, can get a really interactive experience and feel almost like you're there watching what they're doing, seeing, oh, they know I've just finished that lesson and they're now asking me a question, or they're asking me to do this. So if you can build engagement, then you've almost got this almost gamification type of effect going on. Now, what I would say, if you're going to do these kind of complex automations with lessons and all these things, just make sure that you're not doing too much, you know, because too many emails might put them off. Not enough might be not enough interaction. So it's getting that balance right. What I tend to do is I have a Word doc and I just fill it out, and I go through it and say to myself, when would I expect to get something and what purpose would that email be? Because there needs to be a purpose to whatever you're doing, and it needs to benefit the user. So they need to get this kind of thing that, oh, I've got good information. I bought this course and I'm receiving extra information that I didn't even know I was kind of purchasing. So if you can give them that experience, then you're over delivering on what you've said in your sales. Well, you might say, well, why would you over deliver to do those sort of things? Why wouldn't I put that on my sales page and just say that that's what I do? Well, one thing is the actual course itself should sell itself. But if you're over delivering, it just means that the student experience is going to be better. They're more likely to recommend you, write a review, and also share or take more of your courses because they say, oh, I get lots of extra stuff they don't even tell me about. So it's like when you run a challenge, like we're running a marketing challenge, we're actually selecting 3 winners and they're going to receive some Zenler swag. Now, we didn't say that in any of our marketing stuff, but we've just done it at the time, and everyone's like, whoa, oh, I better get it done. I want to win the swag from Zenler. So that's how you can build this kind of like frenzy, and you can also get people to finish things, and get people to finish the course. And once they finish the course, they've learnt the course, what are they going to do? They're going to buy more. So you're going to get a sale quicker than you would if you just finished the course and then, right, I finished that course, I'm going to go off. So you can cause this kind of effect to go if you think carefully about it. And it can be really powerful. So now I've got that done, there's a few things I can do here. One, I always send a test email to myself and see how it looks. You can also preview it here. So you can just preview and it will tell you, and you can see there it's added tips and tricks. It's added the URL for the login for that area. You can also add your own login there, like I said to you. Like if you wanted to add the site here, I could put visit us at Good Doggy, and then I could just put a link in there, so I can go and grab my Good Doggy site, which is there, copy that, go in here, select this, insert a URL and click insert, and there we go. So if I preview that now, that link there is going to go to the doggy site. So you can see you can be really effective. Now, once I've finished, I'm happy with this automation, I need to make sure it's live. I've tested it, I've made sure it's all good. I'm now going to click make live. But before you do that, you need to make sure that you save it. So I'm going to save it. It's going to say this action is currently paused. So if I click yes, it will make it live. If I click no, it will keep it paused. That's all. So I'm going to click no, and you're going to see it's still paused. Now I'm manually going to set this to live. It's going to say apply to existing students. This is really good, guys, because if you've already got students in there and you don't want them to receive this new set of emails, you can just click no. That way existing students won't receive this email, only new ones coming in. However, if you want to send one out to people that are already in the course, you can click yes, and it will send that one out to them. If they've completed that lesson, it will all send it out to them. If they've ended the course, it will send it out to them. So you can, depending on your purpose, you can click yes or no. Now this is now live. Look at it in there, it's live. And this is basically how you can set up all your automations inside of Zenler. So inside here we have different options. So you can add an action. So this one that we're looking at here is send mail, and you can see it because it says send mail, send mail. But we have other options we can use. We can add a tag. So if you add a tag to a user, we could tag someone coming in on this course, and we could then say, right, they tricks and skills, they Feb. So I could put Feb tricks skills, and it would tag them. And then in March, I could change that tag, could delete it out, change it to March tricks skills. And then any new people coming in March will be tagged with that. So you can see exactly when they come in. Now, of course, you can filter when they came in anyway, but this is just a way that you could use it if you wanted to. Now, also, you could remove a tag. So say if they came into this course and you put 1 month, you said 1 month, okay? So after a month, you could tell all those users, you could filter them, and you could see the ones that are 1 month, they've come into the course. After a month, you could then put another one in there saying remove tag 1 month. So it would then remove it. Then you could add another tag saying 2 months if you wanted to, and build it up that way, because we don't limit the amount of automations that you can put inside of any of the automations parts of Zenler. So we also have webhooks here. I'm not going to talk about it much, but it's basically a way of sending a packet of data across to another application like Zapier, and then from Zapier can take that packet information and put it into something like a Google Sheet. So that packet information might contain their name, their email address that they put in when they registered. So that could then be sent across into a Google Sheet. That's just one way that you could use webhooks, but it's more involved. Okay, so next one here, and this is really important, notify admin. So If you turn on notify admin, what you can do is you can set this up. Let me just do it very quickly now. It's got Rakesh's special announcement coming up. So I'm going to put notify me about a sign up. Okay, so because I'm in the enroll email rule, it's going to apply to that. So from enrollment, I can put 0 hours. So basically straight away, it will then send me information of who someone signed up. Rakesh is admin in here, so his name's come up in here, and I'm also admin, so I can change myself over. So tricks and training, I'll just put in here sign up, and then what I'll do is put a new sign up to tricks and skills course, and then down here I'm going to put name, and then I'm going to put personalization. It will grab their name, and then I'm going to put email is, and personalize that as well, put that in there, email. Again, of course, like you can put the course in here. I could actually add a personalization for the course name as well, and the sales URLs. You can see all these personalizations in here. Also, by the way, guys, just to tell you, you could, I'll show you in a minute, you can put personalization in this part as well. So now what will happen, because I've got this turned on, let me just save it, that you're the only one that will get this, because it's notify admin. It's notifying me there. So I'm going to click save to that. I'm going to turn it on, so it's activated, and there it is, live. So what you're going to see is you're actually going to see a new sign up, and it's going to say the course name. So if I preview this, it will show, this is what it will show, and it will pull the information on from when someone signs up. So this is quite good, because if you're out and about, you've got your mobile phone, you get this, you turn this notify on, you can say, oh, I've got a new user signed up, so they've just bought my course. I've got a, you know, so you can get these little notifications coming through while you're out and about or traveling the world or something. So this is a really good way of keeping that kind of thing going. And under course completion emails, again, we have the same. You could have a notify when people finish a course and all these things. And of course, we've got lesson as well. Let me just add an on lesson completion here. And there it is there. So I'm going to put lesson completed rule. Okay, something like that. And then we can select the lesson in here. So you can select a particular lesson in there. So that one, for instance. So after that lesson, then you can then add actions to that. So you can send a mail after they've completed that particular lesson there, quiz or something. So you've got all these options inside here, and lots of the same options are inside of things like the marketing funnels. So I've got marketing funnels in here, and in the automations there. This works in the same way. So once you set your funnel up, you can actually send out a series of emails based from when they subscribed into that funnel. And of course, the same thing goes for our lives as well. So if we've got our live classes there, so here's some live classes. Inside these live classes, you have automations inside here, and you can see this is on register. So another rule, it's on register, but they all work in exactly the same way, guys. So you can go in there, you can see this is one I've already filled out, and with the lives, you actually can attach a calendar as well, so they can put it in their calendar system. And you can see the rules we have here on register, and you can also have a reminder sequence. So we have here 1 hour before scheduled time. So you can pick these different options inside of here, on, after, before. So you can set it out on a date. Be careful with date, because if it's an ongoing thing, if that date is passed, then it's not going to work. So be careful of that. Down here we have the same option: send mail, add tag, remove tag, send notification, notify admin. And that is how it works. And it's pretty easy once you start to use it. And now, as I spoke about earlier, there's a lot of ways you can change things around inside the platform itself. You can set up these whole sequences that go out, just causing a bit more interaction, or saying things like they finish a lesson, you say your next lesson is your assignment, you need to do, and that mail flies out to them. You can give them a link to that, and then they go in there and they do that assignment. So it creates this kind of connection, rather than being a course that just sits on its own and people, you don't know what people are doing only by looking at progress, but they're going through the course and they're like, well, you don't engage with them unless you're mailing them or unless you've got them in a live or something. So that's the key, I think, is like Kevin was mentioned earlier about digital visibility and connecting with people. And sometimes it doesn't matter that people are not responding to some of your social media posts. Just because they don't like it doesn't mean they haven't read it. You know, especially in the B2B sector where people are really busy, they tend to just look at things really quickly and move on. They don't like it or comment on it because they're busy. So this is where you try to get that communication. That's the thing. If you can make a connection with someone, then you're more likely to get another sale. You're also more likely to get them to post things about you, to like your stuff. So by automations, we can create this connection, and we don't have to manage it. Once you've set it up, you don't have to manage it. It should be automatic, as it is all automated. So that's it for automations. So I've now got Rakesh is here with us now, and he's going to pop up any second.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, Rakesh. So guys, I know you have been watching this, so I expect a spike in participants because Rakesh has got some very special announcements today. He's on for half an hour to tell you about them, but you take as long as you like, Rakesh. There's no rush. Don't feel you've got to jump off because there's some big things. So can I hand over to you now and let you take it away?
Cool. Thanks, David. I think that was an amazing session on automation. So thanks for that, David. So yeah, so thanks for everyone who is joining us on the live, and thanks for those who are going to catch us up on the replay later. Good morning, everyone. And this is Rakesh here. Let's start. Yeah, so David Zenler is action-packed with tons of value. So please make sure to check out all the value packed sessions that we have for you all day. You can find information of all the 8+ sessions. I think we got around 8+ sessions on some amazing topics that we have today in store for you with David Zenler. You can find all of the details in the event section on the Facebook group. Now we have already had some awesome sessions from the legends, David and Kevin, this morning already. I'm super excited about the session. In this session, I plan to do kind of like a retrospective of what we have achieved in the last quarter, what we have done for you, what pain points of yours we have tried to address for you, and mainly why we have done what we have done, and the whole philosophy behind how we decide to prioritize features and more. Now at Zenler, we build the platform around your pain points. And I'm proud to say that there are many great platforms out there. Very few can match what Zenler provides in terms of best-in-class feature set, world-class support, and world-class education. You guys, the Zenler community and the founding members have played a massive part in working with us and help create and shape the future of online course platforms. So big thank you from the entire team for all the amazing support that you have been providing us all the way along. In the last quarter, Zenler team has worked really super hard and shipped tons of updates, and new features have gone in almost every single week if you look at the changelog. And you can get all of that information on the bit.ly/nz changelog. The page. Now, I need to cover a lot of changes. If I cover the entire change list that we did in the last quarter, I will be here all day. I don't have all day. There are other speakers coming in after me, so I need to try and do it as efficiently as possible. So let's first look at some of the major announcements that we did in the last quarter, and the whys behind each of these features, and how you guys have helped us build each of these massive features in the last quarter, and how Zenler product team responded when we see a pattern or a consensus emerging. I have a lot to cover. So if you have questions, please drop in the chat below and we'll try to answer live at some point today. So without further ado, let's dive in. So let me share my screen. I think I forgot to share my screen. Cool. David, let me know if you can see my screen once again. Stop. Do you see my screen, David?
Yeah, yeah, perfect.
Do you see, what do you see?
That's it. That's good. I can see the slideshow.
Cool, excellent. Yeah, so let's, I'm just going to dive in. So one of the first things that came about once we launched New Zenler Beta is constantly people are asking how to upload videos and files with sizes more than 1 gig. Now, Steven says here, I'm just wondering if there is any plans for Zenler to increase the file size uploads. And Dave says, is 1 gig the maximum file size? I have classes that is 4 gig at 1080 pixels. And Talia says, what's the size of the video that's allowed to be uploaded? Andy says, would love some advice on videos, how to upload videos greater than 1 gig. Rick says, I will be uploading my videos and it says the limit is 1 gig. So we had a limit of 1 gig we had across the board for for any files that you upload. And Dance Brave Official says, will more 1 gig be accepted in the future? Karen says, I've just tried to load a 10-minute video of iPhone. I'm not able to do that. Kenda says, the replay is huge and the limit is 1 gig. Melissa says, any advice on the handbrake issue? Now, we always recommend people to compress the videos with handbrake to bring it less than 1 gig. So now that's a pain for everyone. If your video is really big, handbrake can get in the way. So yeah. And Trish says, I have a video lesson that is 23 minutes long, and that's just over 1 gig. And she's asking, why can I not upload more than 1 gig? So we really wanted to do something about it. So we went and added the feature. So now, we have doubled up the video file size uploads from 1 gig to 2 gig. This was a change that we did very recently. And now let's move on to the next one. So regarding, once we went live with New Zenler Live, and a lot of people started using this live functionality. And the number one ask regarding live classes and live webinars is how can I really charge? How can I really sell live webinars or live classes? Now, Michelle here says, is it possible to create a paid live webinar or masterclass? Jessica says, is there a workaround to sell one live class or a webinar? This was being asked almost every single day. Caroline says, I would like to do a course with weekly live Zoom calls. Understand correctly that participants have to buy the course so we had to do all sorts of jugglery. You need to add it to part of course and so on to be able to sell that. Laura says, I want to sell one-off live classes. The students need to register for the paid course and then also the live class. So it was not easy to really sell live classes. As Zoe says, paid live classes, she wants to be able to sell live classes. I'm going to sell a couple of individual live workshops, and she wants to know how to really do live classes. There was workarounds, but there was no seamless solution. Caddy says, what's the best way to sell access to a live webinar or live class, whether be it live class or webinar? Miriam says, I have set up a live webinar and I want to charge for access for the live webinar. Lydia says, so to be clear, anything live that we cannot charge for, I don't see an option in live classes and webinars to charge money for. And Nadine says, is it possible to charge for a webinar? That's what I like to do. Karen says, hey everyone, I want to run a paid workshop and needs a registration page with the payment button. Laura says again, I want to sell a one-off class and does students need to register for a paid class? Mark says, I just started exploring the feature. Is there a way to charge per class? or is it better to add live classes periodically? So again, this was a pattern emerging. We launched the live feature and people asked us, can we really use live classes and live webinars to really can we sell live classes or webinars? Can we charge for live classes or webinars? That's when we launched the ability for you to be able to sell live classes and webinars from right within the platform. So with this feature for selling live classes and webinars, just like for courses, we have added the functionality in live classes and webinars where you have this pricing tab. You can add a price, you can add the change of currency, you can add a description, name, and so on, just like in courses. And you can add the buy button text, you can add those bullet points, just like you would do for courses. And you can add a set availability, and you can set it as secret and so on. And on the checkout page, just like for courses, someone can sign up for a live class if he or she is not a member of live class, and they can add the card in. They can check out using Stripe, PayPal, and if you have integrated Razorpay as well. And you have bullet points and coupons. So if you want to add coupons for your live classes, live webinars, you can do that. So yeah, seamless solution for you to be able to sell live classes and webinars. And Zenler is the first and only course platform to support selling live classes and webinars, all within the platform, all through Zenler Zoom, without needing your own Zoom subscription. We handle all of that. So it's a seamless thing. It's not just a plain vanilla integration that you have on some platforms. It's a total end-to-end solution we are providing. The response has been amazing. Julia says, fantastic. I've been waiting for this feature. Thanks, team. Kim says, you guys are rockstar. All credit to the team. They've done an amazing job with live classes, the ability to sell live classes and webinars as well. And Steve says, this could be a game changer for me and others for sure. Zoe says, oh my God, yes, Zenler. And Liz says, both of these features are totally game changing. Brendan says, I love this platform, so easy to use. And anytime I ask a question, I have the answer straight away. Thanks so much that this has completely upgraded my business. Yeah, so this is what we're trying to do. We are trying to provide you with all the stuff that you want to be able to run successful online course or coaching business. Now, another thing that came that was being asked in the Facebook group and to support quite often is when you have like hundreds and hundreds of tons and tons of videos and files, you have no idea what are these files or whether a particular file belongs to a particular course and so on. How do you really get out of this file organization mess? For example, Faith says, media library, other than sorting by file type, is there a way to sort by name or use features so that I can organize the media? Right now, it appears to be go by date. And I get more media over time. I think it can be it may be challenging to keep it organized. Exactly. So this is what a lot of users told us. They're kind of losing sense of it, losing an idea of what they had, what the files they had. There's no way to organize it. So we wanted to come up with a very clever way for you to be able to organize all your files so that you know exactly what files belong to what. So we added tagging. So now you can add tags or remote tags to your video or media or any type of media library files, and you can quickly understand what you can quickly pull up all the videos in a particular tag and so on. So you can quickly organize all your video or media files. And we also added bulk actions. Especially if you have lots of files of lots of videos, if you want to do like bulk action, if you want to select, let's say 10 or 20 of them, and if you want to add tag or remove tag for all of these particular files, we added that functionality. So everything we look at what we can do extra to help you. That's the kind of philosophy we do. Another thing that came about quite frequently, especially from our EU sellers, our instructors based out of European Union. This is probably not of significance if you are not based in EU. Probably it is, but mostly it's of significance to the EU sellers. So they asked us, can you guys just sort out the EU VAT issues that you have, especially once we added live elements, live classes, live webinars, everything changed. So we added an entire new dimension, and the EU VAT aspect, the European Union VAT aspect also changed. So when you have live aspects, they are treated as physical or services category. That means they have to be charged based on the country of the instructor. So here manual says EU VAT exempt courses with live elements. If you have proper human interaction, when exempting a course in EU from VAT because it has live elements, we still have to charge VAT, but it should be based on our local VAT and not the VAT of the customer's country. So in this case, if there are live elements, and if it's like physical or services, like a live interaction kind of thing, then the instructor's local VAT, the instructor's pay is in Spain, the country Spain's VAT has to be taken into consideration, not the buyer or the student's country, which is usually the case for EU VAT. Vicky says this is a problem with VAT calculation. It makes us instructors look amateurish, and it's not good for the accounting. I agree. Natalia says that's why she's not using NZ yet. And Maria says, I've been using Zenler for membership, and I've taken payments with another platform at the time because of this. So again, we wanted to do something out of it. We wanted to be the very few platforms out there really provide EU VAT solution out of the box, and Zenler is one of them, but we have gone one step ahead. We want to make sure we provide the end-to-end EU VAT functionality. So we added just that. We added European Union tax category for EU sellers, and we added not just for live classes or webinars, we added it for courses as well, because we just added live lessons. So you can technically sell courses with live lessons, making it like services category. So you have three categories: digital, which is the default category for courses, and it's based on the buyer's location or the student's location, and physical or services, where tax is based on the seller's location. Cool. Another thing that came up regarding live classes is we're constantly being asked, how do you set up a live class without students needing to register? It was a big pain getting students to register, and people just ignore it, and so on. Students would just ignore the emails for you to, when you send and ask them to register. So Dalia says, Zoom class question. I created a Zoom class for my course, but I want to have the link to the Zoom without them registering. Is that possible? Just the link without no registration funnel? All the students are already in the course and invited, so Dalia doesn't want them to again, register. Liz says, is there a way for students to attend live classes without the live registration process? Like could I create a live class, generate a link for it, and email students the link to click on it at the start time? And Nancy says, is there no way for people to attend a Zoom live class without entering their email? Another thing that came about around this is, how can I stream live straight into the course? So how do I stream live straight into the course player, into the curriculum, and so on? So Daisy here says, I'm setting a series of live classes, and they often get this error that you can't book this live class yet. Please contact the admin. Lakisha says, hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly, she's also getting the same error. You can't book the live class yet. She scheduled a live class. Students keeps getting the message, you can't book the live class yet. Please contact the site admin. So often instructor forgets to add a particular live to the course, or the student is not enrolled in the right course, and so on. So it was a big pain. how do we resolve all both of these issues? That's when we added live class lessons. Live class lessons is available as a curriculum type. So in your add lessons, you can see this new live class lessons content type. So you would add a live class. You can actually schedule a live class later, or you can select a live class that you already created in your live class area, and so on. And we made it super easy for you to start the live class from inside your course. So all you need to do is click the play button, and boom, you're going to go live to students. And not only that, you're going to stream straight live into the lesson. So if a student is inside the course player, she's going to see if the pop-up is enabled without needing a Zoom client. If the pop-up is enabled, automatically a browser window will pop up, and he or she, the student, can access the live lesson in the browser. So it's quite seamless. And if they do not have the pop-up enabled on their browser, we also have the ability. They also have the ability to join the live class in Zoom as well at any point. So you have best of the both worlds. Your students can join, have the ability. Some people don't really have a preference for Zoom. Sometimes they tend against using Zoom. So they have the ability to join in the browser without needing a Zoom client if pop-ups are enabled, or they can also join as usual. They can join on the live class for the best experience. Now again, once we create each of these features, we test it out with early users, and we got some really interesting feedback from our early users of live lessons. We found that often students would miss the live class because they just have no idea when this is happening. So this was a real problem. This was seriously affecting the attendance rates of all the live lessons that we did. And that's when we went back to the drawing board and see what we can really do to address that thing. How do we inform the users that live is happening now, live is being scheduled, and so on? That's when we went back to drawing board, and then we brainstormed and we came up with this idea to add real-time live notifications for students. And you can see that on your right here, live classes. They can see all the upcoming live classes. It's going to come up as pop-up when they log in. If you add a live class, it's going to pop up, asking them if they want to register, if they want to RSVP. If they're going to click going, they're going to be also added into the live classes automations. So they are also going to get all the emails regarding live classes as well. So yeah, so once I book the live class, it's going to say you booked a live class, and and live class today, and so on. So yeah, so they see all the things they have booked, and they see all the upcoming ones. And when a live class is happening, it's going to prompt them saying, hey, live class is happening now. Why not join? When they click join, they are going to go straight into the curriculum. They can join in the browser, or they can join in the Zoom. So we don't want your students to never miss. We don't want them to miss a single lesson. So we have taken care of that. So live notifications straight to students' dashboard. And again, students have control over live notifications. If notifications are annoying for them, we have also provided the ability for them to turn it off at any point. Again, we are the first and only course platform to stream live into live lessons without needing Zoom integration and so on. The response again has been amazing. Kate Mahani says, amazing. This is amazing. Manuel says, wow, this is exciting. Zoe says, this looks awesome, guys. Thank you. Camille says, this is so fantastic. I'm in the process of setting up first close, and it's hybrid and like a flipped classroom. I'm so happy that I can use this new feature right from the get-go. Felipe says, thanks, NZ Keem. We you keep on giving. We try well. Phoenix says, brilliant, thank you. Sagar says, amazing, New Zealand, more power to the instructors. Exactly what we are for. Kat Mason says, now that's mind-bogglingly awesome. Andy says, thanks for this. This makes live workshops so much easier. Much appreciated. Naya says, oh my God, this is awesome. Chris says, awesomeness. Nicole says, love it. I know this feature is going to be really enhance my membership offering. I'm not quite sure how to incorporate it, but having it here, ready to use, it's just another door open. Thanks, Zenler team, for the work. Some awesome feedback there. So now, we started off as a course platform, and from course platform to a complete live class management system, we have come a long way. So course platform to live class management system, live class management platform. Quite simply, there's no platform out there that can really match the feature set that we provide you. Now, it's time for the secret big reveal. Are you guys ready? Let me know in chat.
I think they're ready, Rakesh. It's just they're waiting in anticipation.
Let's go. Excellent. Cool. Again, this was something that was not even on the roadmap. Once we went live with New Zenler webinars, we kept getting asked, how do you really run traditional non-interactive webinars? And Anutosh here says, is it possible to conduct live workshop by switching the participant's camera off and without disclosing the number of attendees to the participants? So he does not want the attendees to be able to switch the camera on and not to be able to disclose attendees to the participants. Hey, we have all done it. We have all done webinars where just one person has turned up. It's live. Live gets in the way. So we sometimes don't want others to see how many participants are on the webinar. Karen says it's an issue that comes up in discussion particularly. People asking for more of a traditional webinar format, one-way video, responding chat, no audio, video, instead of a conference call style format offered. The workaround a lot of people seem to use and so on. Christina says, I'm going to be doing a few webinars soon where I don't want people name visible. I've tested the New Zealand webinar and indeed people's and their names are visible. So you could see all the people, mugshots and everything, and also the names and how many people. Kay says, I tried the workaround. It doesn't really work as a webinar. So what we had was interactive webinars. It worked for like 80% of people, but some people still wanted the ability to be able to run traditional live style webinars. Kenda says, in the Zoom live webinar function, how do I set it so that I am the only person on the screen? I don't want others to be seen. Leslie says, when using Zenler webinar, Zoom webinar, is it possible to hide the participants' identities from other participants? Malik says, I'm on the same boat. I wish there was a way to not show the count and hope New Zealand should look into the requirement. Samay Joshi says, I realize that a live webinar uses Zoom meeting internally. Actually, my requirement is that I do not want participants to know the actual count and should not be able to see each other. Eva says, I agree with you. I also bought, for the same reason I could cancel Zoom. Today I had to buy Zoom again to get the webinar. So several people were still depending on Zoom webinars or had to buy other platforms like Demio and so on. So earlier, we only had live classes, live interactive webinars, and live streams. So there was no way to run traditional view-only webinars. Of course, we had some great videos on how to disable attendees' camera and audio and so on, but it was not ideal. People are still able to see who attended and the attendee count and so on. That's when we decided we really need to do something about it. We've been thinking about it. We have been looking into it for a long time, and I think it's time. Guys, we now have, excited to announce that we now have, if you look into your dashboard, in New Zealand Live, we have the ability to run traditional non-interactive view-only live webinars for you. So that is new. You have not seen it earlier. what you've seen earlier is Zoom interactive webinars. We are not providing you live webinars. So non-interactive, view only, you share here exactly what you expect for regarding live webinars. So Zenler live webinars is a brand new one. We have just launched it. So if you see a dashboard, you'll be able to see it. Again, we are partnered with Zoom once again to bring Zoom webinars for you. Live classes and interactive webinars used to use Zenler meetings under the hood. Now we are partnered with Zoom to bring you Zoom webinars as well. So that's Zoom webinars as well. So you can run view-only webinars without needing your own Zoom webinar subscription. All of that is going to go through new Zenler Zoom webinar. Isn't that amazing? Let us know if you love this feature. Yeah, again, just like live interactive webinars, you can set up view-only live webinars. Just the way you normally set up your interactive webinars. You can add the topic. You can add when you're going to go live, your duration, and so on. You can even make your live secret, webinar secret, and so on. Just like live interactive webinars. And we got some new themes for you. You can select, pretty similar to the interactive themes. We're going to add more here. So you can select the themes. Once you select the theme, the entire live webinar funnel will be created just like for interactive webinars. And again, you can set up your automations. You can add your automations, reminder emails for your live webinar, just like interactive webinars. And again, you can run view-only true traditional live webinars. Now, with just one click of the button, you can now start the webinar and run traditional live view-only webinars where you are the presenter and your panel. So your entire panelists are going to be there, are going to be seen, but none of your attendees can hop on the meeting, because it's not a meeting, it's a webinar. And then it's an actual webinar and they can only listen to it and type in the chat. So that's that. And your attendees will not be able to turn on camera. They are only going to have the chat button, and then they can raise the hand and so on. And your attendees cannot see how many other attendees are there, and they cannot see other attendees. So it's a true traditional webinar. Again, guys, New Zenler is the first and only course platform where you can run true traditional view-only live webinars. We are the only course platform that's out there. And we have indeed come a long way, as I said, from courses to live classes to webinars, a full end-to-end coaching platform. Now, New Zenler live webinars, exactly same limits apply same limits that you had earlier apply. Pro, you can add up to 300 attendees on your live webinar. Premium, up to 500 attendees. So New Zenler Live is the Zoom meetings plus Zoom webinars. So we got the entire spectrum of Zoom, NZ Zoom meetings and NZ Zoom webinars for you. And now that is big savings for you. So monthly subscriptions on Zoom webinars and Zoom classes. Hang on, guys. I think that was it from the announcement side. Are you guys done with do you guys need more announcements, or is that, if you guys need more good news, more excitement, let me know.
We've got lots of excitement, Rakesh. There's lots of people saying thank you. This is great. Love it. Going to be testing it out. Wow, cool. Kudos. Brilliant. The limits of webinars, the same class. Yep, we've said that. Yeah, so they are super happy. Does anyone want to know any new announcements? So more stuff.
Does anyone need anything new, or we are done for the day?
They want more. I think they want more.
One more?
They want more. They're saying it.
Cool. Let's see whether I got any more slides. Cool. So guys, we have got another super massive reveal for you guys. So again, this was something that was not in the roadmap. So we always work on things which are secret. We do not often, people often ask, do you guys have this in roadmap and so on? So we don't, because sometimes we don't know when we can go live with a particular thing, because it's a massive thing. So guys, there's something we have been working on secretly. So often we get asked, I think almost every other day we get asked, like, is there a way to make Zenler course into an iOS or an Android app? Donna says, is there a new Zenler app? Paloma says, hey all, is there a new Zenler app or is there plans to develop one? Michelle says, question, in the future, will we have an app for New Zenler? And Lorraine says, will New Zenler be creating an app for mobile devices? And Dr. Suzanne says, will there be an app soon? My students use for mostly their phones. So students are always on the phone. So I'm thinking about leaving Zenler and trying another tool that comes with the app, ideally with push notifications, especially with community. I think without the push notifications, your community doesn't get as much engagement as you want. You want people are on the phones, and you want people to be taken from the people to see your notifications of what's going on in community, so they can see it. And now, does New Zealand already work on something like this? That would be great. Tahila says, Taylor says, will New Zealand be creating an app for clients to listen for courses on? I see another platform as one, and so all courses you buy from any course creator is automatically loaded onto the app. So listening to it is such a breeze, and jumping between courses, this would be great for New Zealand. Nick says, I'm dreaming of this. So Nick says, I'm dreaming of this. Guys, it's not a dream anymore. We have accomplished this. We now have the New Zealand app. It's live on the App Store. You should be able to download it right now, but access is, we are still testing it out. So if you need access, you need to contact support, and we have a huge waiting list. So we'll go through it and give you access. So please be patient, but we have there's a Zenler app now. It's available on the Play Store and App Store. Basically, we've designed the app so that your students get the best experience of it. So your students can access all the courses on the go. You can see all the courses, and all the content is laid out very beautifully. They can access all the courses on the dashboard. You can search, they can see all the notifications, they can join the community, they can join the discussion, they can take videos, courses, assignments, live classes, all of that. And they can resume where they left. So if they're done something on that laptop, they can resume from that point on that app. So they can take your courses anywhere that they can go. Everything is beautifully laid out. All the different lesson types are supported. And when you click on a lesson, in your multiple lessons, the corresponding video is going to play on the top. They're still refining it, but you see what's going on. Yeah, your students can learn on any devices, your community and your course right at your fingertip, your students' fingertip. So access all the courses, all the content, your students can resume where they go. They can access your course wherever they are on any device. That's the whole idea. Again, this is something is coming up. It's not on your dashboard yet. This is coming up very soon. You should also be able to customize the look of how your site is going to look inside the app. You can design the color scheme, or you can select the color scheme, or you can even select whether you want to go with like a dark mode or light mode and so on. Again, we want to make it even further easier. So we thought about it, and we added, why not give the functionality where you can send a particular message to a student's phone or to an entire group of students inside the course. So we added push notifications, so you can add the message, the title, and then you can select the members. If you want to select to send it to David, you can do that. Or if you want to select a set of people, you can do that. Or if you want to send to an entire group or the entire site and so on, you can send notifications on push notifications. They're going to pop up on the student screen. The Zenler app is available on the Google Play Store and App Store. And once you install it, you're going to see it on your home screen. So once you click that, you're going to see all the usual splash screens. It's going to say access all your sites. You can say call your courses, quizzes, assignments, live classes, and more. And again, a community is a big thing. People want to be able to get notified so that students can connect with each other, connect with their students, connect with you as an instructor, so that you can build an engagement community, just like your Facebook group where you get notified on your mobile. So signing up or logging in is pretty easy. Again, we have removed all the friction from joining into the app. We have not added passwords and so on. So instead, all we need is a student's email. So if your site is enabled for the app, your support needs to turn it on for you. Once they do that, your app is available, your site is available through the app, and all your student needs to do, they just need to stick in their email address, and then a code will be generated, and all they need to do is they need to stick in the code, a magic code, and that's it. Boom, they're verified, and there is no need to no need to mess around with the passwords and so on. And yeah, then once they are in, they're going to see if they are registered to 2-3 sites, all the sites will list, and they can select the site they want to log in. And here you can see our very own tutorials in play. So the tutorials, as you see on the app, I think you can even download it. Tutorials, I think it's already enabled for the app. So you can download the app and log into tutorials. So you can log in with the same same email that you use for tutorial site. You can access the tutorial site to the app. Again, you can see for example, here you can see the course, the video page. This is the marketing your first course challenge that Alice and David is doing right now. And and community again, they're going to get notified on the push notification on their mobile, and they can go to the particular community and then comment. So this is going to be super, super great for engagement, just like Facebook group. And notifications are all, students can also see all the notifications. And again, you can search for a particular course. The search functionality is also there. Again, as I said, when someone posts in the community, if it's of interest, if I'm a student, if it's of interest to me, or if you as an admin is posting something, or if you are posting an announcement, it's going to pop up just like this. So here we got a push notification from our very own tutorials community. So your site name is to come up here instead of tutorials, and you're going to see, and when they click, it's going to take to the corresponding community or course and so on. So again, guys, as a massive, massive announcement, we have the Zenler app. It's on the Google Play Store and App Store. I think that's it. I'll probably cover the roadmap later on. I think I'm over and
well, yeah,
too much to cover, so I had to cut short.
Judy's absolutely fine. She realizes it's a massive announcement. I mean, it's going crazy on the boards, Rakesh.
Excellent.
People have downloaded it. They're already saying it's amazing. They're recommending New Zenler even more. The Bergie has downloaded it, accessing all the New Zenler courses. Wow, you've got awesome, woohoo, so easy to use. Thank you. There's tons of it. So yeah, two big announcements today. Massive.
Yeah. So you got a double whammy today. That's right.
That is fantastic. All right, so I'll be recapping on some of these later on.
That's fine.
After, but
yeah, I'll try and join on the evening session. So I'll take some of the questions later on.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Rakesh. And guys, wasn't that awesome?
Thanks,
that's brilliant. Thank you. Right. So what we're going to do now is Rakesh will stop his screen share, and we will get Judy in. So Judy, do you want to come into the chat? So she's been waiting patiently because she's on. So there we are. There's Judy. Okay, so Judy, You can unmute now if you like, Judy. Hello.
Hey, this is fantastic. You guys are amazing. And Rakesh, amazing, amazing content. I am so happy to be here.
It's a big day today. It's a big day. Yeah, sorry we overrun, but Rakesh had a lot to cover there. And, you know, it's one of those big things. We've got the app and we've got the new webinar experience. So it's all there. So Judy was supposed to come on at 11, so she's patiently been waiting for about a quarter of an hour now. Thank you so much, Judy, for coming on. So what I want to do is, first of all, I'm going to just show Judy's site. Now, Judy is a vocal coach, a jazz singer workshop. Her site is absolutely amazing, by the way, Judy. Good job there. It's a great site. So I'm going to just show Judy's site here. Here we go. So this is Judy. She's got courses. This is a Zenler site. Look at this really good animated effect going on as well. This is superb. I love this site. Definitely like to get this on the showcase, Judy, if you submit it. So this is really good. So Judy, do you want to talk a little bit about yourself and then you can do your presentation?
I am so excited. I have a little problem, David, and that is that I'm hearing double. What do I have to do to get rid of the other voice?
Ooh, I had a technical problem. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Your end. Maybe maybe you've got another microphone set up in there, or
Let me see. I think I was also on Facebook. Now it's okay. I found it and solved the problem myself. That is amazing. So yes, I am so excited to be here, and I am an absolute avid user of Zenler Platform. I still don't know how to use it too much, but I'm definitely going to get into those tutorials. I am a jazz singer. I'm an international jazz singer. I've been singing all over the world with Dizzy Gillespie, with some really wonderful people that I'm sure anyone who is in jazz will know. And yeah, I also recorded an album dedicated to Dizzy with all of the musicians that worked with him together, like Kenny Barron and Rufus Reid and Paquito de Rivera and all of these amazing jazz greats of the world. And now I'm also doing online vocal coaching. I've been a vocal coach for about 35 years in different universities, doing master classes and courses all over Europe. I live in Germany. I live in close to Dusseldorf. I'm Canadian. And yeah, this is great. So I think that's about enough about me. I just love teaching. And so that's why I've been doing this for 4 years online. And yeah, I'll be doing a 5-day challenge starting February the 14th, and anybody is most welcome to join me. Now, I think, yeah.
That's great, Judy. So yeah, we got. If you can hear some noises, because I got builders. You know, they always turn up at the wrong time, so they're drilling the walls down. It sounds like. So if there is any banging, well, I'm going to be muting soon anyway. But yeah, so Judy, do you want to take it away and do your presentation?
Yeah, sure. I wanted to talk to you guys today about how to sell your product or your course with your voice. Now, what does that mean? Now, I've written down a couple of points here. I'm sure that you've heard people who have been, you know, they do a live, they do a training, and they talk like this the whole time. There is no inflection in their voices. They're not opening their mouth, and they don't look as if they're too excited about their topic. So, and then there's other people who talk like this, right? And then there's other people who talk like this. So our voice is so important when we are making contact with our potential buyers. And that means you as a course creator, or even if you are selling products, if you want to sell, you have to be able to use your voice. And if someone starts a video without using any technical, well, I wouldn't even call them technical, and without any use of the vocal techniques that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you 3 or 4 really, really important vocal techniques that if you want to sell and impress your listeners, impress your buyers, and get a rapport with them. That's what we want. We want to get a rapport with our people, with our tribe, right? So most important is to always, I'm going to talk right now just about doing a video, but it is also important if you're doing a speaking event, or even if you're speaking to a one-to-one person and selling it to them offline. Look into their eyes and smile. It doesn't cost a lot to smile. I'm not saying, it's got to be authentic, right? It's got to be like, not like you're putting on a show or something, but these are the first things that people notice. The first impression is always the most important, right? So to be able to speak on video, you need, and this goes also for offline, is to be able to use your breathing technique. That means I am going to speak from my diaphragm. Now, I'm even going to show you, even though I gained a little bit of weight during the COVID time. So this is, you want to breathe down here. Look, when I breathe in, hey, and the breathing reflex takes place. Now, this breathing reflex is necessary for the second point, which is projecting your voice. If you don't project your voice, you're going to get hoarse. Your voice is going to sound kind of seedy, and it's not going to sound very good. So once we breathe into our diaphragm, that's the first thing we have to do. Then the second thing is to project your voice as if you are calling over a park. Now, I'm not saying you're going to have to shout afterwards, but it's just the technique of learning how to project. Hey, what's going on? So if you practice that a little bit with a paper, if you're reading your newspaper or something, then you will notice that you can send your voice out. Now, there's a lot of technical stuff behind that, like the physics of sound, right? If I get my voice out and start to resonate, I'm going to get a different sound in my voice, right? As if I talk like this. And if I don't project, I'm also not going to move my mouth. That is point number 3. You have to articulate, right? So once you get those 3 things together, you're off to the ball game, guys. Breathing, learn how to breathe with your diaphragm. And there's all kinds of exercises to improve your breathing and to show you, how does that work? A lot of people don't know how to breathe with their diaphragm. They're breathing up to here. If you breathe up to here, you won't be able to project. And if you're breathing up to here, you're going to press on your vocal cords. Okay, those are the technical things. Now, the other things are, what did I write down? Dynamics. Some people talk very monotone, don't they? They're not too excited. Or you're going to get some inflections in your voice. Hey, good morning. I mean, you don't have to all go, be crazy like me. Everybody has to be their authentic self. And if you happen to be more of an introverted person and all of a sudden you go, ha, 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 people are not going to, believe you. So you've got to be you. Who are you? Are you someone who is, a little bit more shy? But even if you are a little more shy, you got to learn how to come out of that feeling of not being able to present yourself. You feel maybe you're not good enough. That is the psychological part of it, right? And I work a lot of that with my students, because believing in yourself and having faith in who you are and in your topic and in your course is going to help you to present it better, right? So You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to have confidence in what you are doing so that you can have more inflection in your voice. And another thing that is important, which I have problems with, pausing, making a pause. Now that was number 4. Number 5 is the tempo at which you speak. Some people talk so fast you don't have blah, 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 blah. So you got to think about, right? Speak a little slower, give people a chance to think about it, make a pause. And these inflections, it's like I always think of it as creating, and when you're writing an essay, you start off with the introduction, don't you? Now, the introduction isn't really usually high vibe. I mean, I am always high vibe because I love what I'm doing and that's my personality, right? But an introduction, going to say hi. Okay, I'm not like that on all my courses. You introduce yourself. You introduce your topic in a, in a slower, normal tone. But you've got to be able to breathe. You've got to be able to pick up that word from your vocal cords without pressing and to articulate. So you got the introduction. Whoops. Then you have the development of what you want to talk about. So you're talking la, 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 and this is what I'm going to be talking about, and da, 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 da. And at some point you want to have a climax in your presentation. And then you know what? Without this, guys, you're never going to learn how to speak. So blah, 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 blah. And then you go out of your topic, you go down, the energy goes down a little bit, and then you're ended. It's sort of like you you re-speak, or what do you call that word in English? Guys, I have to think about translating everything I say because I speak in German all the time, right? So it's you refresh what you have said, and then you come to the end. Now, when I am trying to sell a product or to sell my course, you want to listen to those people, what they want, right? So don't overwhelm them with too much talking. What we are talking about today is how to use your voice, though. That is the topic of the day. So I can only recommend to you to remember to breathe. Find out how to breathe with your diaphragm. I can only really, really express how important that is. And then you're going to start calling over the park. I'm repeating. Sometimes you have to repeat something so that people remember, oh yeah, she did say that, didn't she? And then we want to articulate. Some people talk like this, right? So I have a special method of how to form the mouth so that you can connect to the resonance. And it's this: you have a little use of this muscle above your lips. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go around the whole time like this, but it does help you to move your lips, right? Move your lips like Marilyn Monroe. Hi, come on over and see me sometime when I got nothing on but the radio, right? So she's using her lips. That was just, we also want, sometimes we have to make it a little easygoing. Don't make it too serious. And this is really hard work. We want to make it fun, don't we? So it's up to you with your voice to also present this with inflections in your voice so that you're not speaking monotone. So what else did I put on here? Tempo, pause, articulation, dynamics. Some people speak too softly. Have you ever noticed that? You can hardly understand them. And I'm not saying you have to talk like this, no, but you have to find the right amount of dynamics when you're speaking, right? So how do we do that? We're doing that from our diaphragm, guys. you know, speaking is the basis for singing. All of these things that I am teaching you or I'm showing you for speakers exactly is the same thing for us speakers. What is for a singer, they're going to go on and start, you know, singing different pitches and melodies and so on. But the basic techniques are the same. So we have to also learn as a singer how loud do I sing? And most people, because they're not using the 3 or 4 techniques that I just showed you, are not able to use the right dynamics. So remember, number 1, breathe. Number 2, project with that breathing reflex. Number 3, articulate. Number 4, your dynamics. No, what's number 4, the dynamics? I think that was, what did I write down? Number 3, articulation. And then, yeah, number 4 is dynamics. Number 5 is use pauses. Give people a chance. Don't overwhelm them. And then the tempo. How quickly am I going to speak? So I don't know if anybody has any questions, or is this supposed to not be any questions, or?
Hi, Judy. Yeah, that's brilliant. I've got a question. I've got a few questions. But Gabriel Cahill says, I end my sentences with a higher inflection. So she's gone, get to the end. Yeah, to the end.
Well, yes, you want another thing that I should also put some importance on is the energy that you talk with, right? Because you don't want to talk like, well, you cannot possibly breathe or articulate or project if you don't have any energy, right? It's not possible. Now, another thing is when you breathe into your diaphragm, what happens? If I breathe into my diaphragm, look at my posture. I'm going to breathe now. All of a sudden, my posture goes up. I can, what's that right word? I can put out confidence when I'm singing. I can give the people the feeling, this girl knows what she's talking about. Or this guy, wow, he really knows his stuff. Because you are projecting a confidence when you speak. People have more trust in you. So having the right posture is also important. So what does she mean with at the end? She uses a high, of course, at the end, you want to say, hey, and sign up today. Is that what she's talking about? Sign up today for my course.
I've kind of worked it out. I don't think it's she's from Australia, you see, and Australians always get to the end and go hi at the end. Yeah, you know, I always do it. It's you know, actually it's catching. I was in Australia for about a year and I was catching it and I was doing it at the end.
Okay. I've never really checked out the inflections of an Australian, but I'm sure that I wish I could hear her. Listen, what's her name again?
Her name's Gabrielle. You can see it on the chat after if you wanna contact her.
Gabrielle, you can get in touch with me and just sign up for a 30-minute free call, and I can help you and show you what, and you can tell me what you mean. Maybe I can give you a little support on that.
Yeah, I quite like it. I really like Australians. I like that inflection at the end because it doesn't have to be a bad thing all the time, does it?
Can you give me an example, David?
Oh no.
Can we get Gabriel on here?
No,
it's not possible. Okay.
No, but she can talk, or she can put a little audio clip to you or something.
Yeah, please send it to me.
I've got some other questions. Are you all right to take some questions?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right, so I'm going to say one for my own first. Like, what I have sometimes, and I think I know the reason, I just want to double check with you, is I think you were saying about breathe properly and project. Mm-hmm. Because what I get is I get a sore throat, and I think it's because I am not breathing properly.
Absolutely.
So I'm shallow breathing, so it's just all being held in my neck.
Absolutely.
Rather than getting it out there, which even sounds better now I'm projecting
Yeah,
more?
absolutely.
Oh, so
Absolutely. I get a lot of people who have hoarseness. Their voice is sore after speaking after a short period of time. They've got cracking. They've got this funny kind of sound in their voice. And this is all because of your breathing. Because if you're not breathing properly, you cannot possibly project. Now, I'm going to give you one little exercise, David, and this is for everyone there, is to breathe into your diaphragm. You expand the stomach. Let the you're going to fill a tire around your stomach with air. So you don't want to breathe in. You don't want to breathe that the stomach goes in. You want to breathe that the stomach expands. Got that?
Yep.
Okay. When you've done that, then you just want to do a couple of exercises like hop and feel that breathing reflex. Try it, David.
Hop.
Yeah. And did you feel at the bottom of your in your stomach area that it's jumping?
Yeah, I've done this with a guy called Howard Whiteson, who's also an actor, and he
Okay.
the same thing. Like breathe in, and you go through a series of
Yeah. Yeah.
to kind, and I do that before I'm doing a big set. I didn't do it today. I should have. It's something you need to keep working on, even if it's like 5-10 minutes before. But it really helps. It
Well,
really
David,
helps.
it should become a habit.
Yeah.
It should become a habit that you don't have to think about it. It's like learning to drive the car. You know, first of all, you're doing the clutch, like we in Germany here, where most people drive as standard, not, I think in England too, right? Like we don't do a lot of automatic driving here.
Yeah.
And so when you are going to learning to drive a car, you've got to remember, where do I put the gas? Where do I put the clutch? Where do I put it in gear? And once you've learned that, you don't even think about it anymore. And that's the way it should be when you have learned to breathe properly. It's got to become part of your speaking so that you don't have to practice it just before a big event coming up. That should be inside of you by now.
Yes. Yeah, but it's I do so many different things. Sometimes it's hard to make the time to
Yeah, I
It's
understand.
an excuse. I know it's an excuse.
It's the same with me and learning how to use Zenler properly. Like I keep saying, I don't have the time to watch those tutorials, and right. So practice makes perfect, you know. So we'll both make the decision. I'm going to commit myself to doing some more, starting with the tutorials. I haven't even started yet. And you will start with doing 5 minutes, just 5 minutes a day. And I will send you just one little audio for breathing. And you just practice with it 5 minutes, and you will see that you will get better. And
do you give that audio out for free to people on your website and things, or?
Yeah, I give out when people sign up to my Facebook group, they get 2 free audios on breathing.
Oh, so guys, this could be good for you. To check that out for sure. I've got another question as well, Judy. I've got another question.
Well, just 1 second. My Facebook group is called Jazz Vocal Transformation Academy. If anybody's looking and wondering where to find those free, they get it immediately when they sign up.
Put that into the chat, Judy, after. So it's
afterwards. Okay.
Yeah. So I've got another question from Leo. So Leo's a regular with us. He wants to ask this question: How does one find the optimal pitch for public speaking or for a podcast? I tend to speak with a bit deeper voice when presenting. How do I find the right middle pitch?
It's all about who you are. It's being authentic. Now, I'm speaking right now in a certain pitch. I'm not speaking in my excited pitch. I'm speaking in my teaching pitch, I guess you would call it, right? You always know. I have a little saying with my student, it's called yak. You always know One good thing is, Leo, you can record your voice. Now, a lot of people do not like their voice when they record it, but it would be a good idea. Just record your voice. Just read something in your normal dynamics of which pitch you would be speaking at. And it all depends, what is your topic? And who are you speaking to? And well, actually, it doesn't really make much difference who you're speaking to, but it does make a difference if you're speaking on stage or if you're speaking on a video. Now, when you're on stage, you will usually, well, I try to start off with some kind of little joke or something, just to get the people relaxed, right? And then just give a pause. And to have a tagline, what you want to say, the first thing that you want to say. Have you ever wanted to really work with your voice? Have you really always wanted to be confident when you get on stage? Pause. So you have to learn these things differently, maybe when you're speaking than if you're doing a live. But there are a lot of techniques to help you to really grab your listeners when you are on stage, right? Now, it also takes to have a very well-written topic. Your whole topic has to be written out and practiced, and I'm sure you know that. But when you are on stage, just body your stage presence, good posture. Look into the eyes of your audience. Don't look down, don't look up, and have a contact with your audience. Use your arms authentically. You don't want to overdo this. And like I had someone who was, I think he was trying to imitate an American, and German people aren't too showy, right? They're more down to earth. And it just was so phony. You don't want to be phony. You don't want to be fake. You got to be yourself. So wherever you're coming from, be who you really are. Now, you can learn certain topics of how to become more outgoing on stage, how to really get that energy, how to reach your listeners. Absolutely. But you don't want to make it fake. And I really want to stress that, because we don't want to imitate anybody. You want to learn the techniques, absolutely. And then you do it your way.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I would say don't force things as well. If your voice is in a deep register, like I've got quite a deep voice, I'm not going to try and talk like this. I'm a little bit higher in pitch all the time, because I will do damage to my throat. I can always really feel it. So you don't want to force to try and reach a different pitch. No,
absolutely not. Right. If you're forcing anything on your vocal cords, you're going to damage, or you're going to be tired, or you're going to be hoarse. So just find out, what kind of a voice do I have? What is my natural voice? Right? Now, there are, of course, people, I've got a lot of people coming into my courses. I've had thousands of people go through my courses, and they've been talking like this, especially women, right? They've taken on a certain role in their life. They're the sweet, little girl kind of thing. I can't do anything wrong. And so once they start working with the vocal techniques, they start to bring their voice down, but in a natural way. And I had someone come up to me and says, I can't believe it. I feel so comfortable now with my voice, right? So what I'm saying about pitch, is this Leo still? We talking to Leo?
Yep. Yes, that's right.
Leo, you want to find out who you are. Where is your natural voice? I even do a course in finding your own voice, right? Because a lot of people, they grow up maybe with parents who are, really boisterous when they talk. And so they talk like that, right? And then there are other people who talk so softly because they were not supposed to be heard and seen as a child, right? This has so much to do with your own personality. How did you grow up? Who are you? What kind of a person are you? Are you a confident person? Are you someone who lacks confidence? Are you someone who doesn't really like themselves when they go live or when they're on stage? These are the psychological aspects of speaking and of singing, right? And this is a huge part. Like, I can't stress that enough. I'm also a Louise Hay motivational trainer, and with all of her techniques, I bring that into my teaching, because people have to learn how to accept themselves the way they are, because they're so much afraid when they get up there in front of a crowd. They say, no, I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. No, I can't. Blah, blah, blah. And once they start to open their throat and let their voice out, and in the group, people are saying, wow, that's great. First of all, we say in German, die haben sich getraut. They have had courage to overcome their fear. And fear is such a big, huge barrier, challenge for so many speakers and so many singers, is not, being afraid. Now, when you're afraid on stage, your throat starts to, your voice starts to shake and tremble, and all of a sudden you're talking like this, and there's so many things that happen when you are afraid. But when you learn the techniques and really get part of you, it becomes part of you, and you will become more confident. You will speak in your natural pitch area, and you are going to be able to sell your product or your course with your next live or your next speaking engagement.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny actually, because people don't like to be on camera. You get this a lot, and they do.
Oh, so many,
Yeah,
many.
But it's not. That is the other side of it. They just don't like their face on camera. But we're now talking about they also don't like their voice sounding.
Absolutely.
So there's actually two elements to overcome there. And I think, like, in a nutshell, it's like how you look at it is not the same way other people look at it. So it's like you might be critical of like how you look on camera or what your voice sounds like. But actually, when other people look at it, as long as you're genuine from inside, that's what comes across to people.
Absolutely.
So I think there's that side of it as well. So it's like, don't be critical of yourself, just be yourself.
Exactly. You can mess it up. You can maybe even, don't know what you're talking about, and you forget what you're going to talk about and whatever. Even on stage, I mean, how often when I do a concert that I forget the text? I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect. And I think this is another very important tip. Forget perfect. There ain't no perfect, okay? You just have to go out there, do what you got to do, be excited about your topic, and start to articulate. Use these 3 or 4 techniques that I've shown you today, and you're going to be so much more confident, and you will start in liking your voice. I know so many people don't like their voice. I get this all the time. I had an interview with someone, a call with someone. She says, Judy, I've been singing for so long and I don't like my voice. And I said to her, okay, let's take a look at your voice and see why you don't like your voice. And then I discovered she's not breathing properly, right? If you're not using the techniques, if you don't know how to use your voice and you're singing like this all the time, I'm not going to like my voice either, right? So it's important to find someone to show you the techniques of how, just the basic techniques of how to speak. And I'm telling you, it's going to make such a big difference on your radiance when you speak. We say Ausstrahlung in German, right? It's going to make so much difference on your confidence when you start to speak. You're going to start liking your voice once you get these techniques down. It's the same with the singers. Once they come to me and they're singing like this, fly me to the moon. And I'm saying, oh dear, right? And then they just do some exercises. I really, honest to God, even in one call, it is possible to show people within 30 minutes how to breathe properly and to project, and all of a sudden their song sounds different. So it doesn't take a long time, guys. It's just a matter of learning the right techniques. It's the same with everything, right? If you don't learn in the beginning how to play tennis and you're always using your wrist, and then somebody comes along, a tennis teacher, and says, so you got to hold your wrist straight, and then you go back and then you hit that ball. If you don't know how to do that, you're going to continue to throw that ball is going to go over on top and away on the side. Same with skiing. If I love skiing, I'm a skier. And if I hadn't taken lessons, I wouldn't know how to ski. I started late, right? Even though I come from Canada. So you got to learn the basic techniques of everything, whatever it is you're doing, the basic techniques of using Zenler, the basic techniques of speaking, of singing, of how do I even create a course? You got to learn you've got to learn this stuff. And really, the voice, as soon as you open your mouth, people know pretty much who you are, right? David, I wanted to speak about your voice. I really like your voice. I think it's really great. Now, if you're just having a little problems with some tiredness, I would suggest I will send you this audio to concentrate on using your breathing properly, right?
Yeah, I think, Judy, it's a case of, like, with all these things, it's, you know, you have to train your voice. You know, it's a muscle.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
And I before, like, I was, you know, before I came to Zen, I wasn't, and even initially when I started with Zen, I wasn't doing that many lives. I was doing lots and lots of pre-recorded videos where you stop, start, which is fine. But when you're doing a live session, you're talking for long periods of time. And that's when it really hit me, you know. I think the first day of Zenler, I did 8 hours of 4-hour slots. And if you've never done that before, you're just, you know, you're killing yourself straight away. You're throwing yourself into fire. You should do an hour, then do an hour and a half, 2 hours, and build up to it. And I just went and did this, and then afterwards, like, for the following, like, month or 2 months, I couldn't even do hour sessions then without my voice cracking. So I did some voice coaching with Howard, and what you said now backs up what he says, and you've added a few new bits as well, which is interesting because you're always learning. And I didn't realize, I'd done courses for donkey's years, Judy, and I didn't realize that I need to do this. If I'm doing lots of lives, I'm going to need to get some form of help from experts like you, because you don't realize it. You don't realize just how much of a strain it can put on you. And also having the control and things like you were saying, like inflection and stopping, you know, to stop things like ums and ahs and things. You can stop a sentence and then begin another sentence to cut out those kind of things happening. And this is all things that I didn't even know. We don't.
Well, how can you know them? How can we know these things if you've never done them before?
But right? Judy, you're speaking all, you know, you think, oh, well, why do I need to have voice training? I speak every day.
People don't realize the sound of their voice usually. I have a girlfriend and she's always talking like this. And I'm saying to her, Renata, speak from your diaphragm. And she says, oh, yes, you're right. But people forget once I tell her. But most people, they're not aware of really how important your voice is to inspire people, to be able to sell your course, or to be able to impress your interest, the people who are interested in what you're doing. And I can only tell you, record your voice, listen to it, be more, I'm not saying critical, because I don't want you to be critical, but I do want you to find out what does my voice sound like? Or maybe have also someone else ask them, what how does my voice sound to you, right? And of course, me as a professional, I hear everything in the voice within 2 seconds. I know exactly if you are pressing, if you are not projecting. And if you don't know these things, and if you're not aware of it, I'm telling you, get aware of it now, because it makes so much difference on being a course creator. And we're all course creators here, aren't we? We want to get the interest and grab the interest of our listeners, so that they're going to listen to you. Now, if they go on a 5-day challenge with you and they're bored because you just say, "Hi, I'm going to do a filaged a 5-day challenge," right? They're going to turn you off. They're going to go out of your challenge immediately. So it really, really is important. I can't stress that enough. Just as important as Rakesh was showing us all of the wonderful things that you have to learn about using Zenler, it's so important to learn the basic vocal techniques of how to speak.
Perfect. So there we go. So that we're kind of at the end of our session now. Everything's kind of overrun. I do apologise, Judy, for that 15 minutes overlap there, but I'm sure you agree.
No problem. I'm used to being flexible. As a singer, when you go to a concert, you have to be prepared for everything. Like the electricity goes out, a string breaks on the bass, or everything. Always something happens. You have to prepare, and I think also as a course creator, you always have to be prepared. The technique, the tech doesn't work, or this doesn't work. I had so much problems trying to get my Facebook ads set up, because the domain wasn't working properly, and this wasn't working, and that. You have to overcome problems all the time. And as a course creator, we have to be prepared to do that. So no problem.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Judy. All right.
You're so welcome. I'm so glad to meet you after all this time. I am a big fan of yours, David.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Well, the team, we try and I know that it's mainly me on all the videos that I'm producing, but there's a whole team behind us doing things, and all the challenges that Kevin does, and Alice, and and it's only going to get more and more. But things like
amazing.
Learning from you guys, because it's amazing. Like, we've got so many different subjects, instructors in there, professional people like you, doing these amazing things. And that's what I love about Zenler. That's what I love about doing a day with Zenler. I get to meet like fantastic people like you, Judy, and you get to talk about things, get to learn new things as well. And it's a really, really good experience for me personally. And yeah, good.
Did I tell you, I thought you were Mr. Zenler.
Oh, no, no. No, and this is
this is amazing.
Yeah, but it's because of so many videos that have been done and are on the channel that people get that wrong impression. But no, Rakesh, he is the head honcho. We're just underlings doing our little bit.
Okay, well, I thought, this is amazing. This guy has founded this platform, and he comes on here and does all these lives. Okay, Mr. Zenler, that's pretty amazing. Okay, now I know that the whole team is behind you.
Yeah, I mean, Judy, I've been with Zenler before. Before I joined them, I was with them using the platform for a few years. When it was in the first stages. So I've always been part of the platform, and I've been contributing on the Facebook posts without actually being part of Zenler, because obviously I run all my own courses and my own business outside of Zenler.
Oh, you do?
Yes, yeah. So it's all completely separate from what I do on Zenler. So I don't run. I'm not a partner. I don't do affiliates. I don't do page building for Zenler or any of that sort of stuff. I do like 3D animation, designing, that kind of stuff, editing.
Oh, you're sort of like a website designer?
Yeah, I did. I pushed all the website stuff away. It just bores me now. I've been doing it. I was doing it for too long, so I do a completely different set of things now, and produce courses on 3D animation and digital sculpting and that sort of thing.
Okay. One
Yeah.
last question before we leave. Can I post this in my Facebook group or in my profile, this interview?
Of course you can.
Oh,
Yes, of course you
great.
can. If you need me to snip it out on the video, send me a message. I'll snip this portion out.
Yeah, please do that and then send it to me. I would
Yeah,
I
of
would love
course.
that. So I would like to spread because I have, for the first time, I have people asking me, what are you using? And they're signing up for Zenler. So I have about 4 or 5 people who have already, through me, who has nothing to do with, tech things, and they've signed up with Zenler. And I think it's worth spreading the news about this wonderful platform.
Yeah, and now we've got the app and we've got the true traditional webinar. It's even better. Anyone not here seen Rakesh's announcement about that? That is a massive thing. There are more stuff coming along as well, but I'm not going to say any more.
Okay. Yeah, I have to check out how to use Zoom first of all, because I do a lot of trainings and I haven't, wie sagt man, ich habe mich nicht getraut. I haven't had the courage to try the Zoom in Zenler, but I will very soon.
Do it.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me here today, David. It's been a real great pleasure. And I hope that I have been able to help the one or another person with their speaking. If anyone has any questions, please get in touch with me. I'd be more than happy to help in any way I can.
Yeah, brilliant, Judy. Thank you. Can you
You're welcome.
also pop into the chat, and if anyone posts any questions there, maybe put the Facebook group up so people can connect with you. So if you put that into the chat on Facebook, then people will see that. Remember, this video also goes on to our YouTube channel as well, so it gets promotion that way as well for people to see, because you share information. So if people see your website and come to you to ask you for help, then it's all part of A Day with Zenler.
Super. Okay, we'll do that.
All right, guys.
All right, take care and have a great weekend wherever you are and whatever part of the world you are in.
Lovely. All right, that ends session 1 for A Day with Zenler. We'll be back at 3 o'clock where we've got a lot more stuff going on. And final thank you to Judy. And
So welcome. Thank you so much.
see you later. Bye.
Bye.